Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Paradise Theater. Tonight we are doing Gloomfall, a 3.5 D&D story. Just looking at the chat channel, it's been over 55 days since we've played. It's like, holy crap.
I've missed it so much.
Yes, life really does throw a monkey wrench in fun. So, trying to remember exactly where we left off. Words. Were you guys in the harbor still, or did you make it back to the house?
We had made it back to the house at this point. We had stopped. I think Jodin is still at his business, but the rest of us had made it back to the house, and we were about to tackle the incredibly difficult conversation of where the fuck do we put these people?
Yes. Which is always an interesting topic, considering how much you now have.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so yeah, how many people did we get? I don't think I got that in writing because I don't have access to my own notes.
We got 2 salamanders.
It's actually 3 salamanders.
3 salamanders.
Yeah, 3 salamanders.
1 llama.
Yeah.
You got your 1 dugar.
Mm-hmm.
And 19 human slaves.
Yes.
And then we've got the gloaming, which is going to probably come work for me.
Yes.
So.
Would you mind getting me my notes, because I can't seem to find them. By the way, sorry.
So 19 humans, and I want to look at something here real quick, because this is.
Wait, are they on the character sheet? I'm sorry, I might have.
No, it's in journal. Open the party folder.
Yeah. I see 4 things. I got loot from Duragar, Mira's affiliation, notes of the Evan Circle, and tactics.
Okay. And then outside, you should be able to see a few.
All I'm seeing is the party folder, unfortunately.
It might be still in Gunner's hands, because I know he was handling most of that stuff, so might see if he's the only one that has access or not.
That's... let's see. There we go. Found the in-breath notes. Perfect.
Just a little.
Yeah, I'm just making all the external notes, which all really does deal with the house. I'm just opening it to everybody.
There's Hope Spring Mining Company. There they are. I was like, where did all of the notes? I know I've made a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
So
I know the 3.5 rule set updated itself, so that could have wiped out some permissions.
Yeah, it looks like I have everything.
Yeah.
Now, I think.
Everything, and everybody should be able to see inside the party folder.
Yeah. I also can see the Velvet Caress Society. I don't know if that's intended.
I was gonna say that's gonna be Jodin's affiliation once I'm able to actually create it, which I got 2 levels to go before I can. But I'm actually going to I'm actually going to write it up, and that's where I'm going to put it written up so that Brian can see what I've got going on.
So I have 4 half ogres, right, as well.
Yeah, we did get some half ogres.
4 or 5? Because
4.
So
4, okay, and then 19 humans. I'm not going to put the Gloamling in my note labeled Madame Yenvras things, because that's your thing, not my thing. You own that now.
Well, I will probably put her in my notes that the gloaming. What is her name even?
I
Because I
don't
need
think
to.
he's come up with a name yet.
Damn.
Okay.
Oh, we have.
So 3
And I haven't
salamanders.
even come up with a character sheet for it yet. So,
So 3 salamanders, 1 llama, 4 half ogres, 19 humans. That about right?
yes,
Okay.
So that's how many
you have
total.
no space for everybody.
No, definitely. And actually,
What's
I came up with an idea as well.
what's our
Say what?
what's our total number? How many total?
So total number of people in the house right now, or just people in
Well,
general?
total number of followers and peoples that we need to house that aren't going to come to house.
I see him. Not yet, Brian. We're still figuring a couple more things out, Brian.
Don't
I
worry, he's just out there.
I don't need him in my house again this soon, Brian. I'm so very anxious about taking on more people. Uh, let's see here. So people
But he's
who
your friend.
my cohort. Let's see. Does anyone else have a cohort at the moment?
Not necessarily, no.
Um,
Automatically, I do not have
Well, other than the
anything. So.
gloaming, if she chooses to work for me, which
Oh,
I'm
she's going to work for you, but it wouldn't. At the moment, it would not be a cohort.
right. I'm just
okay.
gonna put her in my what the fuck just happened to my notes.
Geo.
um, let's see here.
Oh, there.
Chef. Sorry, I'm getting everybody. Uh, boy. Let's see here. So, is Marshall going to be staying with us as an NPC, or is he going on his way?
No, he will be an NPC.
Okay, right on.
I still will have him being played as like the head of the household,
Okay,
like
right
your
on.
official head.
Perfect.
So,
My butler, all that good stuff.
yes. So I will periodically be asking Gunner, what would Marshall want to do?
Let's see here. Oh, I already got Sally on there. Sorry, I'm trying to get
Yeah.
everything here. Let's see. We've got CERN. Okay, so tell me if I miss anybody. But we've got 19 humans, 4 half ogres, 3 salamanders. So let's start counting up. 19 plus 4 plus 3 plus 1 llama plus my cohort plus Zalakorian. We haven't met my cohort yet, but I know that they're going to be there. Plus, let's see here, Gloamling plus Jodin plus Lizard Bard plus Deviled Guy plus the twins plus the chef plus the Duragar plus shit, come on, plus Marshall plus the orc dude plus Jeremy plus CERN. Am I missing anybody so far?
I think you're doing pretty good.
Okay, yeah. So that's 41 people. Oh, plus Madam. So that's 42 people in total.
Yeah, even converting the basement,
Mhm.
yeah, there's not enough room.
Yeah,
Hold on.
I've got an offer for you though,
So
Sean.
subtracting all of the people that actually can live in the house, how many is that? Because we've got rooms for all the PCs, and I
Yeah.
think a couple of the NPCs. But minus all of those people, how many is left? That's what I'm trying to
Okay.
find out.
We don't need to house the salamanders, so
No,
they're off
because
the
they will
equation. They live in
outside.
rocks. We are housing the llama, but that's my business. I got that covered. Um, yeah, we're gonna assume the cohort lives in the house. Salakorian lives in the house. Jodin, you can live in the house if you want. Would you like to?
I probably will. I mean,
Okay, at
if
least for now. Yeah.
like, I think at this point, like he'd probably spend a lot of time with his business ventures and be home
Hmm.
like less frequently, but he'd still keep his like
He'd
bed
keep a
and
room.
he'd
Yeah.
keep a room and probably still come home and crash out when he does need to rest.
Yeah, the lizard bard, the devil guy, the twins, and the chef all are. I'm still trying to decide whether they are paracausal extensions of the house's essence or what they are, but they have rooms, so they're fine. Are we able to house our Duragar friend? I know our orc is living there. Can our Duragar friend live in there as well?
Yes, there's room for the Duragar. Why
Okay.
don't I bring you guys up to the second floor?
And then there's Jeremy and Cern who also live in the house. So, looking currently, I do not have a token with vision. But yeah, looking at it currently, we have 25. 25 we have to account housing for.
Okay, so there's two ways. There's a couple of different ways we can go about this, and they're going to be a bit different either way. So
I will tell you immediately, the half ogres are going to need their own building each. Like, I can't imagine, or we make a really absurdly big barrack.
hold on.
Go ahead.
So
Sorry.
a simple house costs 1,000 gold pieces, and it's
Okay.
up to 3 rooms. That's a
Yeah.
1,000 pieces for just have a couple of that'd be. So if we wanted to throw up 3 houses, we could house theoretically, about 9 up to 18 people because people sleeping in rotation. Um, so so that'd be about 3,000 gold to do that, give or take, depending on what the market upshot is going to be. That Brian will tell us.
Right.
The other thing is to do something that is comparable to a border tower, but that is much more expensive. That's
Oh, yeah.
50K, and its furnishings cost another 1,000 to 4,000 K, and the annual maintenance goes to about 2,000 gold pieces. It would house up to 40 people, 40 soldiers, 4 sergeants, and 2 officers. Cost about 350 gold piece a month in pay, if we're paying them, and eat about 414 gold pieces a month in meals, or 138 gold pieces in meager fare. Um, the soldiers take shift doing cooking and cleaning, so no other staff is necessary, and that takes up to 8 months to build. And that's going to be all of these are going to be subject to what Brian determines the market variance of having this stuff built at is going to be.
Right.
I would be willing to chip in a few $100, a few hundred gold pieces, but I have a feeling that either way we go, we're still going to have to leverage some favors and do a few jobs with the payoff being, with some payoff being in property and shit, or building
Yeah.
materials.
No, absolutely. And
Did
by the
someone
way,
mention favors?
while it's open, everybody claim a room real quick because that's
Okay,
important.
this one here at the lower right with the 5 beds,
Uh-huh.
that's where the permanent house staff live.
Okay.
That's their
Am
room.
I
Can I take I would
Aren't I
like to
living in the
ask
basement?
yes.
So
I would like to ask for one thing. I do need, by the way, the names of the NPCs because I actually wait. Oh, wait, I might. Oh, never mind.
Should
I
have,
have all of them. Nice,
you should
perfect.
have access to them now.
Yes, perfect. Thank you. That was something that I was like, God damn it, I can't keep track of these. I'm so bad at this. I would like to ask Valvir to find 2 of the humans that he finds the most suitable for housework and add them to the house staff to ease some of the burden, if that is something he would be willing to do.
Yes, he will definitely do that.
Yeah. So I'm gonna tick 2 of these humans off of this list because we can account those for the house now. And it just makes good business sense anyway to have a couple of these people, you know, um, as good examples of, oh no, we were slaves. We're treated very well here. You know what I mean?
I think Jodin would probably take this farthest back all the way to the right bedroom.
Ooh, yeah.
I think that'd suit him fine.
That's very private. Oh, you even had the restraint to not pick the one with the chamber pot. Nice job. Let's see here. Where was the note? Oh, there it is. Okay, right on. So we've got that sorted. And then Jodin, I'll let you have your pick so long as you don't bring us below like 12.
Do what?
I'll let you have your pick of like seeing any of these people you want to hire, so long as we don't go below like 12 or something.
Oh no, I probably would. I'm probably one of the things Jodin's doing in his downtime is actually looking for like the talent he wants to hire for what he's trying to do.
So
So like
he's going for
until
quality, not quantity.
right, he's looking for very specific things, and that's kind of like the narrative of if there's nothing else for him to do, and we're in downtime, you can assume that he's, you know, looking for people who would who would be good employees for what he's doing until he gets the place up and running, and then at which point it'd probably be like, oh, okay, um,
Yeah.
then they would be at the business.
So
I mean, there could be like a couple of like inconsequential scenes where you see him doing interviews or going through candidates or something, um, but essentially that's kind of the background. Like most of the people you freed have been are I like you freed. I had thought we're going. I had figured we're probably going to go to our like either mining or
yeah.
or soldiers or whatnot.
Oh, we're doing specifically mining, and then I think we'll need to have a discussion as to whether the ogres are guards or whether they're mining too, because they could be pretty useful as workhorses.
You know,
But yeah, yeah, I think that's where Jeremy and CERN stay is my curiosity now. Like, are they
right?
staying in these rooms or?
I was seeing this one where my mouse is at the
That
very
perp.
bottom.
Love that. You're right by a window.
Yeah.
I would say
There's no windows in this place.
Oh dang. Wait, then what's this?
That's a
balcony.
picture.
That's a picture.
Yeah.
What's it
There
a
are
picture of?
pictures hanging up in this place, you know.
Is it like a moving picture or is it just a picture?
I don't know. Have you looked at them?
I'd like to look at the pictures. I think Yinbrath has an eye for art.
Yeah, so if you look at any of the pictures that are hanging up here, they you just get this uneasy feeling from them.
I like that.
It's like they're watching, but you don't see anything moving.
I like
Are they
that.
portraits? Are they landscapes?
They're all landscapes, but they have people in them.
Okay.
Let's see here. We have.
And surprisingly, they're all landscapes from the surface world.
Ooh, I'd love to one day, fucking like commission a portrait of Yinbrath. I think that for sure that'd be something she would do.
Yeah, we can always talk about that.
Let's see here. Not right now, though. Oh, never mind. I have 1,000 plat. So I have, or 100 plat. So I have 1,000 gold pieces. And then the house currently has 3,000 set back for rainy day stuff. So we could crack into that rainy day fund, but it would probably be a good idea to avoid it for now. But we can't. This is kind of a rainy day.
Well, what I'm saying
We have an urgent problem.
Well, let's think about it this way.
Yeah.
Not everybody has to be able to sleep at the same time. We're going to have people patrolling, right? Handling our security. So they can rotate and sleeping. So we don't necessarily have to have 19, 20 beds all at once, as long as 19, 20 rooms or 19, 20 beds all at once, as long as we have, 10.
That's a good point. Oh yeah, and Brian, remember I did buy stupid amounts of rations. Yeah, I bought like close to like $1,000 just in food, to make sure we didn't have to worry about this for a while. So food shouldn't be an issue, for a foreseeable future. Like my big issue right now is the timing. So we don't have any land to put these people on because we don't.
Don't we have a certain?
We do have a courtyard and a whole bunch of tents. I did take care of that with like tents and stuff.
Right.
which will be fine for like 2 or 3 days, you know. What we need to do is we need to buy some land that we plan on mining at, which means that I need to get our NPC, oh, what's his name? Minor NPCs. Bromgron's Stone Crusher. I need to get his ass in gear to find us some land that is not claimed. Because we're gonna 40 acres and a mule this shit and just say, fuck it, we own it because we own it. There might be some issues with that, but here's the thing. As long as we're not fighting dragons for our land, I think we'll be relatively okay. So
we also need to find some kind of work that we can do to actually get paid, because one, we need to make the money to be able to buy the land and to build something on it. Two, we need to be able I'm actually in debt right now. I owe 10,000 gold pieces on that house for the brothel.
Yeah.
I got to pay for that.
God damn. Well, then we gotta get some work as well, which I think. Wait,
that's a big priority for me.
We had some work lined up, didn't we, Brian? That I was gonna have lunch with Trusker.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Hell yeah. Perfect.
And Joe did probably, while he's making connections among, because he's not just like vetting talent, he's also trying to ingratiate himself into the sort of like merchant class to upper class and whatnot. He's presenting himself as an entrepreneur and things like that. So he'd also be having his ear to the ground for any kind of illicit sort of like jobs that somebody might need a third party group to handle and be willing to pay, for it.
Right. Yeah. So I was going to have Zalakorian accompany me to the lunch with Trusker. Anyone else was invited, but it was probably going to be one of those things of like, this is like a really important business meeting. Like definitely not like a meet and greet, more of like all right, we're going to figure this shit out. Like we're going to make some money. You know what I mean? So anyone is invited. Also, yes, it appears that well, okay, first question. Zalakorian, do illithids have ears?
For the most part, no.
Okay.
It's not like
his tentacles were burning then.
They have. I guess they have holes. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, Jodin would go to the meeting with you for sure.
Hell yeah. That seems perfect. I'd
be working on my sermon.
Valid.
Spending the days working on that, making it perfect, knowing that I have that meeting to get people to work the mines. Which I bring up to Madam too.
Oh yeah.
At some point, I'm going to commission the congregation to better serve Kirkamal to work in these mines that we're going to have.
Oh, she'd definitely be receptive to that. She'd be like, well, once we get these mines up and running, that'll be a certain boon.
And most of the time, they'll probably sleep in the mines and work in the mines.
Wow.
Enjoy most of them.
Oh, wow.
If they're true worshippers, they would.
Yeah, yeah. Jodin, you get thrown outside, it looks like.
No, I'm just trying to figure out which one's the actual.
Out the airlock.
What is going on with
I can see outside
notes?
Even though I'm not outside. Wow. What's happening?
But yeah. Yeah, I think that to square off all of our dealings before we get with Tresgus. It's huh?
Oh, I'm trying to add something to my notes, and it keeps like kicking me out of it and not saving what I'm trying to write.
Yeah, I'm having issues with the character sheet because I don't remember how to use it. I'm sorry.
But yeah, just to round out our business, I've got Bromgron searching with vigor to try and find us a location. Like, I'm like, all haste, please. CERN is writing his sermon. Jeremy, if you don't have things to do, I think Imsh could definitely use a training partner. And if you do have things to do, then ignore that.
I mean, the only thing that I'll actually be doing is just going to the arena and fighting.
Okay, I think, you know what? I think I'll send Imsh with you then. Like, have both of you guys do fighting, because you two are kind of our heads of security right now when it comes to being big swingy, you know?
Yeah.
One day I will buy or build an arena.
Oh, it'll be beautiful.
One day.
And yeah, all the house staff is doing their thing. Zally and Jodin are coming with me. I'm assuming Marshall is helping the house staff and helping. Yeah, I'd probably put him on logistics for like, hey, make sure the people out here are like happy and taken care of while we figure out how to get them where we need to get them. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, he totally agrees with that.
Yeah. So yeah, yeah, I think that squares off just about everybody here at the table. Yeah, that covers
By the way,
everybody.
I've been wandering around this house the entire time as like one of those. I think we had like a servants. There was two of them that look like the same almost.
Oh, the twins.
The
I'm
twin.
gonna be disguised as one of them when we leave.
Huh.
Oh, really now? Well, that should make life interesting.
I can imagine. But yeah, perfect.
Well, there's two of them, so why wouldn't there be a third one that like for all you know like they just move faster than normal?
Bug logic. Yeah, bug logic. I'm here with it. I'm a huge proponent of bug logic. So yeah, what are we walking into here, Brian?
Truscus is just sort of looking at you at the moment.
And is this like the next day?
No, this is the same day you got.
Same day.
You got back
and he
from
just
the harbor.
And is he in our house when we get there, or does he just walk into our house?
Oh no, he just walks in.
Wow. Yeah, I look slightly perturbed and say, Truscus, it's surprising to see you right now. I wasn't expecting you back so soon.
Yes, he looks at you, and the two really long, almost to the floor tentacles sort of come up and just sort of gently start touching the side of your face.
Oh, I definitely step back and I say, apologies. Perhaps you're, yeah, let me move myself back here. And it's just like, apologies. Apparently, your and my definitions of personal space are different.
There, you can move your character now. I unpaused it.
Yeah, no, that's still having a hard time moving. I don't know why. Hold on. I think I might have to refresh. If you want to just move me back fucking 5 feet, I'd appreciate that. I'm gonna take a 5-foot step here.
Oh yeah,
but yeah,
that's fine. And he just looks at you. In your head, you hear, "You are the real one. Good."
I look at him and say, I will forgive some of these strangities. Please, tell me how I may assist you while you are here.
It's how I may assist you. There seems to be a creature wandering around in your likeness.
Yinbreth kind of like cocks an eyebrow and goes, "Oh, is there?"
Yes.
I just stand by Yinrath with like my head down.
They have tried to procure help from one of the drow clans to get rid of this imposter, they say.
Oh, yeah, she definitely tense her fingers. And she says, apologies for my misunderstanding. Would you mind if I had a seat? I know you're not much for them.
Yes, by all means.
I pull out her seat and yeah.
Oh,
I think Jodin, who appears to be paying only a moderate amount of attention as he swirls whatever drink in his glass, goes, "You know what they say about flattery and imitation."
Yes, it's a very, very quick way to have your throat slit. Apologies, Truscus. Thank you for this information. What else might you be able to tell me about this similar-looking assassin? Or not assassin, this similar-looking troublemaker.
Ooh.
Now that we know who the real one is, they shall be taken care of. Do not worry yourself.
She kind of nods and says, much appreciated. You seem to go on to an awful lot of trouble on my behalf.
I forge a quick mind link with Lady Ingrath, and you just hear Jodin's voice in your head.
You can't get the link.
I can't.
Wow.
Oh.
No, it's being blocked. There's someone more powerful in the psychic arts than you are.
Oh, yeah. God dang. Yeah, Yenvrath, very much. And by the way, Yenvrath is not talking to him in her mind. She's very much speaking out loud. Like, she's,
Oh, you wouldn't expect anything less.
Yeah.
Notably, Zali is actually quiet in the minds. There's no actual feeling of like Zali being in anyone's minds.
But yeah, I say, yeah, I probably do leave it at you. You do seem to go out of your way to assist me quite often, like very much with the implication hanging in the air of why. You know what I mean?
Yes. Let's say you are an interesting subject.
Yenvrath probably has a slight eyebrow twitch and says, glad to be of entertainment.
Oh, I did not say entertainment.
Oh, if anyone, I think Jodin would probably be like, oh, they're studying you already.
Yeah. She says,
that must be an incredible boost to one's ego. How do you feel?
She probably says, brimming and overflowing with pride. And, like, giving you, like, a withering glance. and
Jodin just puts his hands up like, hey, I meant no offense. Like, and goes back to sipping on his wine or whatever.
And she probably looks back at our friend here and says, well, well, is there any other business you wish to discuss? I still have not prepared myself for our luncheon tomorrow.
Oh, yes. There is one thing. We have noticed an influx of people beyond those that were recommended by myself. You have no room to house them all.
She probably says, we are currently handling that situation.
Understood. Though I may have something that would be of interest to you in our meeting tomorrow about this little situation.
And a
Till,
nods and oh, go ahead.
till then, I bid you farewell.
I say farewell to you too. Yeah, and as he leaves, Yinvrath is going to close her eyes, sigh, and then look at Jodin and go, so at the meeting tomorrow, we are going to be in far over our heads.
Oh, that much was obvious. That man is a master of concentration. I couldn't get a read on him. As uh, he kind of shrugs, but I would be rather suspicious of someone who offers too much help in these particular climes. Granted, it's not a fully Drow city, so I wouldn't expect every dagger to be using high enough class venom to take us out, but I would still be wary of a dagger nevertheless. Could still kill without the venom.
And she kind of nods and says, Marshal, if you wouldn't mind confirming the veracity of our friend's claim that there was someone walking around with my face, and if it does seem to be true, which is likely, what house hail they from originally? If it happens to be the House Yinvrath, then Yinvrath was not the original house name. She'd be like, if it happens to be my original house, good. And she says, you see, Jodin, I understand that I'm playing a very dangerous game, and it's one that I didn't exactly understand, or that I didn't exactly ask for all the pieces. But I believe with some capable assistance, and kind of looks all around the room at everybody, and kind of finally settles her gaze on you. I believe that this will be a very profitable and, dare I say, stable engagement.
I walk over and refill Jordan's cup.
He looks over at you and goes, "Thank you. That's a very unusual gesture of civility for one of your kind towards towards anyone. I've been rather impressed with your restraint." And he says, "Nevertheless, we can't take anything for granted. When we need to make certain that we at least pay some level of attention to this individual. There's probably some larger game afoot, but
As
Probably.
soon as
success
he
is
brings up, as soon as Jordan brought up, like, you're doing a great job holding restraint, you
Yeah.
feel like a wave of frustration just fill the room.
Yeah, I think you find it's probably a little more slippery on Jodin, and
Yeah.
because you're probably the only person who's getting any impression that he's actually a psychic,
Mm.
that he's a psionic at any because he's really not revealed that to anyone else. You're the only one who would have insight, but like there's his mind's a little bit more trained. To
Mm.
some extent, you would probably at least be able to sense that much.
Which, yeah,
Yeah.
by the way, Jodin, you very almost gave up the game just there. If it wasn't for Truscus having like such a strong aura,
I know. Yeah.
the madam would have known, which would
Yeah.
have been very interesting. I think, yeah, I can't wait for Madame Yenvrath to like really understand the extent of like your skill, because like she already is like, all right, this like playboy drow who clearly also is not on good terms with his family, he's got something going on. I just don't know what it is. Like the second she finds out, she'll be like, "Oh, good, excellent. I needed another one of those." Like,
Well, I mean, that's the thing too. Like, Jodin's not going to just hide it forever. He just
yeah,
and he probably would. He probably would have tried to play it off like he was, talking to you with his back turned, or even just made the outright risk of being of because it would only reveal one ability that he had, not the full suite of what he can do. Um, but yeah, and he could pass it off as magic if he needed to. But
Yeah.
no, he would have liked to have. That was something where he felt like the risk of having a secret communication was might have been worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm. Especially since he was so clearly playing to be half disinterested the whole time,
Oh yeah,
making
no.
sarcastic
Yinbreth,
comments and shit.
yeah, Yinbreth already sees right through that. Like that's not
Yeah.
that's the kind of thing that Yinbreth picks up on game like
Yeah.
that. She has a 34 passive fucking sense motive. Like she
Well, it's weird because like and on some level, Jodin is an example of like understands like to for several people because of his draconic blood.
Yeah.
The kobold can see some similarities because of his psionic abilities. The illithid can see some similarities, and because he's the
Yeah.
same mindset as Yingrath when it comes to being a sort of mastermind behind the scenes and playing their cards, that's like recognizes like
Oh
too,
yeah.
but at the same time, he doesn't really tell anybody much. He
No,
says
yeah.
that, but he doesn't say anything. He
Yeah.
dissembles a lot.
I think
Uh,
I think at this point, Yinvreth is going to be like, all right, and to the nearest house assistant, like, take a note. I need to discuss with Bromger on finding someone to line this house with lead as soon as possible. And also, I need to have daily. Nope. Well, yes, but daily to buy daily um, updates on his search for a mine. We're going to be redoubling our efforts. Tell him that if he needs a budget for finding someone, I'd be willing to allocate a small coin purse to finding people to assist him in scouting locations. Like she's in full dictation mode. She's like trying to get shit sorted with like the Bromgron situation, the mine, all of it.
did we ever decide exactly what we were doing about housing the other people? Like, how much
Um,
money do we have? How much money do we have to spend? How much is it going to cost to buy a couple of like a couple of houses that we can use
yeah,
for barracks and have them built on like in our courtyard area? Like, what are we talking?
yeah. If we were to erect like a shanty, like we're not going for style points. We're going for like
Right.
house a lot of people in a courtyard, in like relative safety from the elements. Um, you know, like
Hey,
the our like our front yard will probably look pretty shitty for a second, sort of thing.
right.
Um, because we have tents right now. Everyone's in tents,
Are we like
which
hiring contractors to build this stuff? Or are we like setting our team to build, like the people that we've hired to build it? Is what I'm
yeah, we'd
curious about.
probably
Either.
need a mix because it
Well,
probably we'd need a
yeah.
couple contractors to know what they're doing, and then we could provide a lot of
Right.
raw labor with the people.
That's what I was thinking too. It might be able to knock off our cost to build this stuff if we use some of our own people for labor and
Yeah, and
hire a couple of shift like contractors for shift work and what have you. Uh, then we got to worry about building materials. So
so
that's
if and here's an incentive for them. I'm gonna pay a gold coin to each of them. That's 15 gold or 17 gold. That's just as a thing of like, hey, here's a little bit of money to show you that like we do have money. Keep keep chill for right now. Like
There's
there
more
is
where
more
that came
coming.
from.
Yeah, exactly. Like work with us for a little bit here, and we will get you into a place where you'll be making consistent like food and money. But yeah, so what are we looking at, Brian, for like building like a shanty town sort of thing in the front yard? Some sort of
Um,
barracks.
you got the tents temporarily. depends what you want built out of, I guess.
I
Would
mean,
be the main thing.
mostly like wooden canvas. Like I'm thinking like this is going to be safe
Or-
from the elements.
Whatever fiber, whatever passes for wood down here.
Exactly. Like
Whatever the
build
wood
it.
Really,
analog
really
is.
large mushrooms.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
probably out of like mushroom wood and like canvas or like, whatever. Like I want this to look more like kind of like I want this to be easy to put up, easy to take down, and store a lot of people in like relative safety. Because like I don't want to. I want semi-permanent structures, not
Like-
permanent structures.
Like super basic construction.
I don't care if I have to destroy those tents to get the materials for
Are we
the
looking at
canvas
like
stuff either.
FEMA quality tents? Like they have to be put up really quick, but they're sturdy.
Yeah,
basically?
that's kind of what I'm looking at. Because like essentially what I'm thinking is we have a bunch of tents, which means we have tents, tent stakes, and tent poles. Pretty much the only thing that's going to be useful out of that is the canvas for the tent. But if we can take that canvas and just like nail that up as 4 walls, that's a lot better than living in a tent. That gives you a lot more space, and at the same time, it's really easy to take down. It's like making a tarp house.
We could always just drape something over like a giant mushroom nearby.
Huh? So, what do you think that would cost for that kind of barrack there?
Depending on how you source it out, probably about. Let's give it about 1,000.
1,000 gold. All right.
I'll throw in towards that.
Okay.
I don't know how much gold I have. I'm not sure if the 2,000
Yes,
I have is from the amount that I actually have.
You show Jesus Christ. Is that a fucking death tyrant?
I will throw.
Oh, I know exactly what that is.
I
Wait, what
will
just
throw 300. I will throw 300 gold pieces towards that 1,000 gold piece.
300,
Yeah,
and then
or if I
I'll
need to,
kick.
but I'll
I'll
start with
kick.
3.
I'll kick 300 in as well, and then the house can kick 400 in. How does that sound?
That sounds good.
Okay, works for me. I'm terrified right now, by the way.
Are you the only one that can see what's out there?
I can't see outside. I am inside.
Oh
and I
my
can't see
god!
anything.
Yeah, no, that's not a death tyrant, but I think I know what it is, but I need some confirmation. I'm not. I'm on
the landing page.
You're on the landing page?
Yeah, I don't know why.
How the fuck is Sean on the landing page?
I have no fucking clue.
Forge's been having issues. They're under a DOS attack right now.
Oh yeah, they're on a DDoS attack.
Well, it kept resetting the volume on the music on me earlier. So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
should be
Jesus
back now.
Christ. Yeah. As soon as you can see this, Sean, I need you to.
I can see it.
Yeah. What alerts me to this thing's presence?
Just the fact you're looking at the door.
Yeah, I'm probably looking out the door trying to plan stuff, and then I see. Now, this isn't a death tyrant, is it?
No, it's not.
Can I make an arcane check?
There's all the eye stalks, but the central eye is missing.
Yeah, can I make an arcane check? Because
Yes.
I'm already shitting myself. So I want to see if Yenvrath is shitting herself more or less. So knowledge, arcana. Roll.
Madam, is everything all right?
I don't know what the hell this
you know
is.
It's an eye tyrant, but you're not sure which one.
I say, Salicorian, do not try to probe this thing's mind.
Understood, madam.
Yeah. And I look out at this thing. What is it doing?
It's just sort of floating there, waiting for you to come outside.
I am going to, specifically at this point, I see CERN and I go, oh God. And I am going to say, everyone, be as careful, as reasonable, and as amicable as you could possibly be. And she's going to say this very clearly so everyone hears. There is an eye tyrant outside. There is a high chance that it will decide to kill every last one of us. Apparently, it wishes to speak with me. And she's gonna walk outside.
You make the most interesting of friends. And I think I think Jodin would follow. Although somebody may have
You
to
see
move me because I'm having
all
issues.
eye
I stay
stalks.
by Madame Yinrath's side.
You want to move? Do you want to move Jodin out here because he can't move? But yeah, I see all the eye stalks looking at me. I'm assuming.
Is it paying all of
Yes.
mine to Yinrath, or is it all over the place?
Yinvrath is going to say, hello. She'd go, greetings. Welcome to my humble abode. To whom do I have the pleasure of speaking to?
I am not going to pronounce its name.
Oh, Jesus. Can you put its
Just
name in chat?
just put a bit of phlegm in the back of your throat and try to say something.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, God. And I say, it is a pleasure to meet you. And I will attempt to repeat its name back to it. She is a polyglot. She's got the skills to potentially do so.
Oh boy.
He says, I am Madame Yinvrath. To what do I owe this pleasure?
I'm looking for my friend, Tusker.
Oh my God. God damn it. I'm going to say, you just missed him. He briefly popped in and saw himself out. Apologies on this inconvenient timing.
I see. I take it you are Madame Yunbrath.
She I love the fact that no, this lines up perfect. This is the kind of thing a beholder would do where you're just like, no, I just said that. No, she would say, yes, that would be I. Oh, God damn it. She said I.
Let the eyes have it.
Oh boy.
Then I assume he confirmed you are the real one.
She says, yes, I have heard news of this imposter. He assured me that he would handle it.
Oh, he will. And the house that made the deal with this imposter will also pay the price.
Man, what is going on?
Give me a spot check.
Yeah, I'll do that. Can I do a sense motive as well?
Yes.
I would like to do similar things.
Okay,
and
so
I
By all means.
assume
Anybody who's outside that can see the front of this thing can do a spot check, sense motive. Go for it.
okay, there's my spot.
Wow.
Not terrible. And then my sense motive
it's gonna
here
take me a minute here.
is gonna be roll. I mean, a 20 sense motive ain't bad. Anyone get a good spot? Oh, wait, you're doing a spot as well, Jodin. Right?
Yeah, should be. Here's the sense motive. It's just taking a minute. For whatever reason, I'm lagging pretty hard today.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I might be
warned there could be latency issues.
Wait, can I roll from other people's sheets? No, I can't. Probably. Wait. Yeah, no, I can't.
Well, I can tell you with that 20 cents motive that Madame Yinrath knows that he is actually genuine, what he's saying.
Okay, sure. He said I make an interesting experiment or subject, which, I mean, that implies that I'm like a test subject, or at least a data interpolation point that he's manipulating. And I don't like that. And the fact that now there's a death tyrant or not a death tyrant, just a fucking beholder on my side. I don't know about that one. I'm worried. Does anyone else here getting a worried vibe?
Oh, don't worry. There's at least 2 to 3 more special NPCs that will be introducing themselves over the next little while.
I feel like there's a paper trail being built.
Yeah. Like Sean, you have experience with Dungeons and Dragons. Is it good when an Illithid and a Beholder are both working together and also are on your side, though you've done nothing?
We just need the third. We just need a third one for the punchline, right?
Yeah, like a vampire or something.
No, the
like
aboleth that lives in the harbor.
Oh, the aboleth, right. Also, Sean, if you're trying to talk, check your chart.
Uh-oh.
Well,
I knew that was going to come.
Yeah, classic.
I blame the wind.
Okay.
Is it really bad wind out there?
Yes, it's really bad down here.
Mm-hmm. Well, did our spots get anything?
The spot was good enough. Around one of his front eye stalks is hanging a small amulet that surprisingly Trusker had as well, hanging around his neck. They're not big. They're not being presented in the open, but they're not being hidden.
Yeah, I probably would ask not about that amulet yet, but I'd say it is interesting the company that I find myself in. I didn't consider myself so esteemed to be around such powerful individuals immediately. What brings this interest?
Beyond this house. Let's just say, how did he put it? You're an interesting subject.
God damn it. I say, and about this house, I understand there is a portal underneath it. To where does that portal lead?
To know that would be to know how to open it. Sorry.
She kind of says, and if you don't mind me, would you mind if I asked a personal question?
By all means.
She'd say, that amulet that you and Trusker both wear, is this signifying of some sort of society of some sort, or a kinship? Merely curious.
Without even, pardon the pun, batting an eye.
Yeah.
You get an image in your head.
Mm-hmm.
And there's Trusker. There's this guy. Yes, there is a vampire.
Knew it!
And there's some type of demon individual.
Ah.
And they're all sitting around a table. And it's almost, the table has a map on it, and there's pieces on the map, and it's like they're moving them around the map, and occasionally one gets knocked over and a new one gets placed on.
Wow. Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. That seems like the club I want to be in. Damn.
That's more than the good old boys club.
Yeah, that's the bad old boys club.
That's the big leagues, brother.
Yeah, no, that's something that Yinvrath would be very interested in. Immediately, Zalakorian, you get this because like it's like an uncontrollable feeling to her. You get this immense like wave of just like narcissism and like desire and greed and like this like lust for power, like that just like washes over Yinvrath as she sees that and says, just very calmly, she looks at him and says, I see. Well, it is never flattering to be a pawn, but to be a pawn for the winning team. And she kind of smiles and nods. Perhaps I might be promoted to queen one day.
I would not quite say team, but all those who run, even the up-and-coming houses, learn a bit of the truth.
And yeah, she kind of nods and she says, well, if there is any way in which I might make myself useful to you, please contact me at any time.
That mouth goes into a exceedingly wide, toothy grin that just sort of pulls at your nerves a little bit, going, that's just more creepy than it should be.
Oh, and for anyone who can see Yinvrath's face, there is almost a mirror of that smile. Like, she is like, it's like the closest to unhinged you've seen her get since like screaming that she was the half-blood empress and shit.
All right.
So I will give you a little bit of advice for free. Don't try to grab too much too quickly.
Kind of
still are houses here that will think nothing of wiping you out.
He kind of nods and says, and when they attempt to, they will find their end. Or I shall find mine. But this is wise advice.
Yes. The pieces will move in interesting ways. And he just leaves it.
Floats his ass off.
Oh, yeah.
Damn. I thought I was going to be upset about this visit. How does Zalakorian react to that, like, wave of emotion, by the way, out of curiosity?
So Zalakorian, you get like a sense from like there's a wave of kind of like a feeling of almost like reciprocity, like I send a signal back saying like feeling like I understand you better now, and I'm adjusting my goals in my head to align with that, basically.
Oh yeah, because like anyone who like got that image or knows what's going on like would immediately know like, oh cool, that's Yinvrath's whole fucking goal. You know what I mean? Like She's like, I want to be king shit of fuck mountain, and like I am going to be that. Like,
in the female form, where you're like, madam, is it just me, or does it feel like we're pressing all the right buttons and getting attention?
this is both good and bad, Zalakorian. The thing to remember is having eyes on you is wonderful until you make a slip.
Well,
So don't slip. Simple answer.
sometimes when we slip, it's a matter of how we make it look. If we make it look good, then everyone will believe that we did not slip.
She kind of nods and she says, as soon as we can get Hope Spring Mining Company up and running, we should be more than capable of holding our own financially, and then past that, our real aspirations can begin. The true design of all of this, at the end of the day, Gloomfall will never be able to forget the Ebon Blades. Is that what we named ourselves? The Ebon Circle. And she kind of looks at everyone else who's going to be at that meeting tomorrow and basically goes, or she looks at both of the people who are going to be at the meeting. Well, yeah, I mean, because Zalakorian, or not Zalakorian, Jodin is here. He's just not here. But yeah, she'd be like, tomorrow we're going to be presenting our best face. Everybody be taking notes in the ways that you do. We need to know every little detail about what is being asked of us and how we may complete that in the most correct way. Kind of looks over at CERN and goes, CERN, you're doing excellent with this church that you're doing. I am eager to sit in on your first sermon.
Oh, okay. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
It'll be entertaining. We'll siphon out the weak ones, and the true worshippers will succeed and will serve us well.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, she'll nod very much like, yes, siphon out the weak ones. This is what I need to be hearing from my people. Like, and yeah.
And if not, we have ways of motivating them. And if one thing I have not been able to use yet is in my character is suggestion at will. So
nice. Oh, hi! You just missed your beholder friend, bud.
Just checking it out, make sure it's coming out right.
Yeah. So, okay, by the way, we are setting aside, I forgot to set aside that money, so I'm going to do that right now. Money. Notes from the Ebon Circle. There we go. Edit. So the Ebon Circle was taking 400 of that burden, so they're at 20. We're at 2,600 for that. And we still have a bunch of sellables as well, thankfully. And then I need to knock off that money on my character sheet. Also, can't wait to meet my cohort. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, I should get on that, shouldn't I? Things have been a little crazy.
Oh, you are totally fine.
When I go to the church, I'll be as an elephant at that point. It's just as like lately, the entire time that I've been at the manor, I've been just practicing fitting in with the servants and stuff like that, and playing a part basically.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah, the twins like you.
I know. That's kind of why I took the identity, because they wouldn't mind me playing along with that. Besides, it makes them look like they're doing more work.
That's true. There are more places than one. So, what do you want to do for the rest of the day? You probably got a couple hours before it starts to be considered nightfall.
I think Yinbrath is going to get on getting people to start assembling the shantytown as soon as possible. And she actually would probably help. Like, she's very much like a boots on the ground type. So, like, as soon as the shantytown starts getting assembled, she's probably going to be like right there putting up her own shit as well. Like, or not putting up her shit, but like, helping build it.
Yeah.
What's everyone else doing?
This is at the meeting that we're gonna hear the prepared speech.
Oh, it's the like right after all this stuff.
Oh, right after. Okay. Well, I mean, like, since we haven't left yet, I'm still disguised as one of the twins. So I'm just gonna go, like, back to like duties basically, and I'm gonna, talk with the twins and see if I can pass myself off as the other twin. So, be like, I basically try to probe and say, like, what do you think about how Zally's doing with fitting in?
Okay, which one are you trying to do this on?
So weird. Oh, that's not how you do it, bud.
I know. So, what are the names again? Gotta look at their names again. It's been a while.
Kaloran and Zels.
Zels.
Z. Yeah.
Okay. Zeals.
That's one you're talking to?
Yes.
Give me a performance check.
All right. Performance.
See if you can pass off as her sister.
Let's see here. Just double checking my stats here. Okay, I don't have any bonuses level. I haven't adjusted yet. So P for performance. P for performance. Profession, perform.
Yeah.
Well.
So it would just be perform.
I do not have. I have to hit plus to add skill. Yes. No, I have. Okay, plus 5. Okay, that's right.
Yeah, it's whatever it'll be basically whatever your charisma bonus is.
Okay, did it roll? Why isn't it rolling? Oh, there we go. Roll. $16.
She sort of just looks at you. It's like, try better next time. And continues to work on.
Yeah, nope. Just like kind of like goes back to work. Kind of like there's that wave of frustration again across it. Like he's determined to get better. He is.
God. I love Zalakorian just being like not understanding how to do any of this, but really trying. Like
Really trying. That's one really sweet sense motive I rolled.
Mm-hmm.
But she does give you a smile.
I mean, they already knew that I was trying. So the fact that it's kind of like it's already kind of like it wasn't like a surprise.
Yeah.
I
I've
think
probably been doing this like over the like multiple times at this point.
what she sort of gives you the impression what's giving it away is the fact that you actually don't use real speech.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Is there by the way, like is there a way that mentally I can trick the mind into thinking that that came from a mouth?
That's sort of why I asked you to do the perform. So you're trying to mimic the movement of the non-existing mouth, like the image. You're trying to get it to move to what you're telepathically telling them.
So it's kind of like I am lip syncing to the
Yes.
sound. That's what I'm doing. Yes.
Yeah, basically lip syncing, and your timing's just not quite there.
That's hilarious.
God.
We'll get there,
You don't
guys.
mind. They like you trying. They sort of like you.
It's kind of like having a friend like learn a language.
Yeah.
You could look at it that way. Very loose roundabout way.
Being fluent in civilization.
Why did everybody else do it?
So what I do is I perfect the sermon, and when I think it's good, I go outside and help them build
The little shanty town.
shanty town. Yeah, that's the word.
And what are you doing, Salty?
Was that for me? Sorry, I kind of trailed off a little bit. It was.
Yeah, just pretty much still at the arena, fighting till it comes nightfall.
Are you actually betting any money at the arena?
No, I'm just fighting for fun.
Oh, okay. They always like those people.
I'd like Imsh to do that as well. We're counting this as his training.
Oh yes,
I forgot Imsh is still alive from that
Mhm.
disaster.
Imsh is the only one alive from the original group of.
My God, that's special.
Mm-hmm. No, very, very good.
Just didn't stand a chance.
We must protect him at all costs.
Right.
No little humans don't survive down here. Okay, so yeah, you guys are definitely doing that. The rest of the day basically is uneventful. So's the night. So the next morning. When did you want to do the sermon? Do you want it as a morning, an afternoon, or an evening sermon?
I'm gonna have to find that note because we scheduled a time that was like a 2-hour block, and I don't remember what it was, but I think it was like afternoon. I think off the top of my head.
Okay. So we could say like it would be time sermon, so they sort of start like 11:30, go into lunchtime. So let's get everybody over.
Ha 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 ha. We are back yet again.
On this extremely large map.
Am I actually on the map? I don't know where I am actually.
Quite honestly, this map is large enough. I lose you guys all the time.
Yeah.
I will literally be honest. It's like I'm just going to. I'm going to see if I can find everybody. I'm just going to take the tokens off the map and then place them where they need to be. I think everybody else is off. There we go. So is everybody going to this sermon to hear it?
Oh, I'm going for sure.
Yeah, I'd go.
Okay, I found the note. It was at the 13th hour.
Okay, so it's 1
When I
o'clock.
show up at noon to do setup, and then I get an hour afterwards. I get an hour for the sermon, an hour setup, and then an hour for cleanup afterwards. All the people that died from the traps and whatnot. I gotta clean them up.
Okay. And Madam Yimbrath, you want to sit near the front or near the back?
Oh, I'm sitting near the back. I'm not a practitioner, or I'm not a practicing member of this church. I'm just here to support and observe a friend of mine.
I take it Zoden and Zalcorian are going to be there too?
That's right, but Zally's not sitting. He's levitating and just kind of chilling.
And of course, Sean's not back yet. In fact, I'm gonna check my phone, see if he texted.
Yeah, because he's normally not this long.
Yeah.
I mean, it was kind of stormy earlier today. I didn't really
Yeah.
feel like it was going to be that bad, but I know that it was supposed to rain tonight.
I said it was supposed to start like 2 o'clock in the morning or something. It was gonna be massively stormy today.
Oh, he said, "My shit froze up, restarting everything."
Oh boy.
That'll take him a little
Yeah,
bit.
we need to find a way to get him a better computer.
Black Friday's right around the corner, guys.
I know, I'm so broke though.
And we also actually do have computers on clearance at the store, so.
Hell yeah. Anyway.
Something to consider.
So yeah, is there any of our NPCs going out there? Oh, Imsh is watching. Good for him.
Yeah, he
Who
likes
was
the little
there?
guy.
Hello?
Hello,
Yay!
Sean.
Hey, god
There he
damn
is.
it. I'm
Welcome
sorry.
back. You're here
Everything,
just in time for fucking
The
CERN's
sermon.
sermon.
Woo!
everybody, somebody send me some cliff notes in Discord. My shit froze up and it was fucking pain
Oh,
in the ass getting
yeah,
everything back
Sean.
up.
Yinvrath got to have an evil view of what her future could potentially be. Um,
Okay.
that beholder
Yeah.
had a similar amulet to the one that Trusker had. So Yinvrath
Okay.
asked about it, and it flashed an image in her mind of essentially like a shady table
Hmm.
where there was like him, Trusker, a demon, and a vampire all moving pieces on like a big map.
Oh,
Like
shit.
as a very shady and then Zalakorian caught like this feeling of just like evil, greedy, narcissistic, like power lust from
Oh,
Yinvrath that
nice.
Jodin would have also definitely picked up on just as being
We
like
were
it was
both
an
right next to her,
yeah,
so
it was like an
Yeah, being just,
uncontrollable, just like,
yeah.
oh, this is what I could have.
Sense
You know what I
motive,
mean?
yeah.
Yeah,
Like
no.
high sense motive, and yeah, he probably would have
Yeah.
been like,
And then she
raised an
basically
eyebrow.
said, yeah, then she basically said, well, it's never flattering to be called a pawn, but as long as I'm a pawn on the right team. And he was like, oh no, there are no teams, but potentially every house learns more and more. And she's like, oh great. Well, if I could ever be of service to you, please let me know. Like,
Ah, nice.
and then
yeah,
after that
like,
was mostly like just like day-to-day stuff, and then we went through the day basically.
Okay,
yeah, do
cool.
you want to come
Yep.
to CERN's sermon to support the homie?
He'd probably be there, but I mean, he'd be appearing to be as aloof as normal.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
you know,
Looks like you're probably sitting next to Yenvrath, who's just like she's watching intently, but oh Jesus, what is that thing? Oh
The
God.
companion does not give me proper kobolds.
Oh, so those are supposed to be kobolds. Christ. I hate them. Look like something out of Scorn.
Well,
And
they
I'm just
call them
levitating in
cobalt
the corner.
zombies. So
What did you say?
they're cobalt zombies.
The Well,
Ah.
first of all, that's not a kobold anything, but second of all, I do like the zombie aspect of it.
But they're going to make a decent placeholder. So
Oh, for sure.
yes, and each one of those actually will represent like 3 kobolds, just because they are probably smaller than that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. How does our lore weaver, who is not actually a kobold, uh, feel about being surrounded by so many kobolds that look very much like her?
Um, they're not paying. They're not actually. This one would not be sitting beside her. He'll sit over here
Mm-mm.
on the floor.
Oh, of
also,
course.
I'm curious, how do they react to me? Because they're of the dragon as well. Like recognizes like, and I am dragon blooded. So, what do they make of me, or do they really even like? Because there's not a lot of my kind necessarily running around.
Um,
They might, you know.
they're giving you that weary eye look. It's like,
Okay, yeah, no,
what is them doing? We're here for this guy.
yeah, okay, all right. Just wanted to make sure because it's very weird. Because when I was talking to Psychopathic about it the other day or last night, we were like, Yeah, he is dragon blooded. You are a kobold. You'd probably recognize that. He's like, oh yeah.
Yeah, they would. That's also why they're not sitting beside the gnome half dragon,
Yeah.
Ah,
because it's a gnome. It's part gnome, and gnomes and kobolds just don't get along with each other.
That's true.
true.
The fact that it has dragon blood, yeah, no, they're just not going to mess with it.
Double whammy.
So, Vern, take it away.
All right. So, y'all seated comfortably. Let's get started. We'll start with a little prayer, I guess. A statement stated by Father Kirkwall.
I can't hear
I can hear him.
him at all.
I can hear him too. I can.
Sorry, Scott.
Any better? Okay. So, he stands up there. He's like, "Oh, Watcher, I slither before your scaly majesty. Now, this is the first assembly down here, and we're attempting to get the word of Kirkermall out. Y'all should be interested. Why not? He's awesome. Without him, most of us wouldn't be here. It's important that we give glory to him. Some of you may know, some of you may disappear out of the room completely, or some of you might know the history of it. Today, we'll review history. How did we come to be? How did Kirkmall come to be? How did everything go? You know, we all know that Kirkmall was the first kobold of us. He was the first dragon spawn. Now I'm gonna mess this name up. I tried to remember all these names. Now, when Cassinja created Kirkmall, she did it to serve him in furthering the dragon's horde, right? Now we know she resided in a great big cave, created Kirkmall as a servant to her. And then Kirkmall collected treasures and golds, surveyed stuff for her under her servitude for a while. But this task was getting a bit much for him. So, Kirkmall decided to create more kobolds in his image, right? This was the first generation. Multiple, duplicate to himself more kobolds. This is the first generation there, the multitude, the greatest of the great nations of the kobold. They would use these, and they enslaved gnomes to help. They would steal gemstones, unborn souls. Gemstones aren't easy without a good pickaxe, so he made a good pickaxe that everybody could use. Finding precious metals and whatnot. But Kirkmall and his new creation did so well over time that they were allowed to be freed from Cassin Jash. Cassin Jash. I still can't get that name right, but whatever. And at this point, Kirkmall was like, okay, what will we do now? So we created our own place for us. Darstrom Strixathari. That was the great city of Kirkwall. It was running great, but eventually the nasty gnomes found out, and they got jealous of the power and wealth that Kirkwall had developed. So, as Kirkwall and his followers were fully developing their city and living prosperously in the caves and just doing great in their city, the gnomes weren't happy. Let's see. I lost my place. So, when the gnomes attacked the city to demolish it, it was a great battle. It lasted for a while. And Kirkmal did not turn up well at the end. But the gods came to Kirkmal, the other gods, the lesser ones that aren't as important as Kirkmal, gave him a choice. He could return the city back to its original glory, seek out his revenge, or ascend to godhood, in which he chose the latter. And I lost my place again.
I like the idea that this is like in real time, like CERN's just like, and I lost my place again. Like,
yeah. Um. It's the right act. You focus future generation of kobolds to pursue and eliminate any gnome that bothered enter their presence. So that's what Kirkmal wants us to do. Be hardworking, work mines effectively, and abolish gnomes that are being troublesome. Um. Uh, so, joining the ranks and glorifying Kirkmal is an option for everybody on every day. Don't. You can't just sit back and quietly worship. Put yourself to work. Have a place to where you can devote your skills to find precious metals, find gemstones, and do all kinds of glorious things. Actually, no, a great place you guys can start if you want to. But if none of your worshippers are Kirkwall, that's your choice, even though it's wrong, but still. Anyways, so we have trials here to see if you're worthy enough to become members of the clergy of Kirkwall. Around here, I have set up several things that if you desire to join, you have to disable the traps and survive. If you don't survive, one less wasted person on the planet. But, yeah. What do y'all say?
Well, all the kobolds sort of look at each other.
Before we get the reaction of the kobolds, I just want to say, Scott, that was lovely, and I now worship Kirkmal.
But like I said, they look back all the non-kobolds, shake their heads, look back at you, and they all stand up and they're like, yeah.
That's a very kobold reaction.
All right.
Almost
find him and disable him.
So these are zombie kobolds?
Are you just... Hold on. You're just going out and you're just inciting religious violence. You're literally just like, find gnomes and disable them. Like, commit hate crime.
Well, there's traps that hour before we got here, there's 4 separate traps that were set up throughout the sanctuary. They were disabled during the sermon.
Okay.
And now that it's open, they're kind of like enabled. Now they've
been turned on.
Yeah.
Oh right, I didn't realize that was about. I thought you were talking about gnomes, just like find gnomes, disable them. Like, oh
Well,
god.
I mean, if they want to, they can.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's pretty Kirkmal. Like,
Yeah, they all look at the half dragon gnome and go, no. But yeah, they start looking for the traps.
yeah, Yenvrath is probably going to step forward and look at CERN and go, well, that was certainly, they certainly look inspired, sort of thing.
Well, that's the point. If they do good, then they'll know where to. Then we'll let them know where they can go to work, i.e., come see you.
So out of the 21 that were here, only 5 failed to find the traps before they were sprung.
Ooh.
Nice.
The rest found them and disabled them. Actually, some of them also watched as the traps got sprung on some of the ones that did not find them. They actually went back and reset the traps.
Take
Just see if
note
the others could find them.
those. Take note of those too, because they would be good people that would be like, "Ooh, good job."
There is one in particular where he served going around there, there. Well, that's an interesting place to put it, but yes, there's one there. I'll let them all deal with them first, and then I'll go deal with them. And he actually lets them all find them, disarm them, rearm them, do the whole bit, and then he goes around not only disarms all the ones that got rearmed, he disassembles them into their original components.
Oh, wow. Big fan of him.
And then brings them to you.
Oh, good. These will be useful for the next time.
If you really want some pointers, I'll give you some later. There's some really good spots around here. You'll never find them.
Right. This is a test to see if people were smart enough to figure it out. But yeah, I get you.
Oh, trust me, my brethren here, yeah, no. Me spend time out there looking for traps. That's my specialty.
Then you are useful.
And you are a great leader.
Oh, this is only the beginning, my son. Only the beginning.
What do we do about the gnome dragon thingy?
Tolerate it for now. What if he does something stupid? Remove his head.
He just gives you a toothy grin. So that's 16 cobalt workers that you have secured to work in mines once you get them set up.
Yeah, I just need my Duragard to do the thing. Just to let you know, Jesus, fucking pronunciation. Just to let you know, GM, I am willing to send out 100 gold, based on need. Like, definitely, like, if he's like, hey, I need this much to find someone to help us, like, find these places. Because again, not looking to buy, looking to settle, if that makes any sense.
No, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
So now that the sermon's done, and there's some cleanup that needs to be taken care of.
Yeah, I'll stay back after everybody leaves and be like, all right, I got an hour to clean this all up because I have no idea what's coming next. And it could be entertaining to see what happens in the next group, but nah, I'll pick up.
So long as it doesn't intercede with the lunch meeting, Yindrath will help you clean up.
Yeah, I'll be also helping. I'll walk up to Cern and be like, "You did a wonderful job."
So, Madam Yinbrath, who is all going to this meeting?
So it was going to be me, Zalakorian, and Jodan.
Am I going as me, or am I going as someone else in this?
You'd be going as you, because this would be
you would definitely want to go as you.
Yeah, this is with the what's his face, the Trusker.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, he would like you could try going as one of this. He would just look right through it.
Right.
Classic Trusker. So scary.
We should trust her.
Yindrath's playing with fire.
We should trust her.
Yeah.
Trust her.
Yeah.
We should trust her.
Yeah, of course. Definitely nothing bad could happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, absolutely not. He's a nice guy. He's likable. He has an honest face.
Yeah, honestly terrifying.
He just has a name that just says "trust me," you know?
Yeah, exactly. Now, the question is, because Sean hasn't been able to get back yet. Sean, are you back? Does not look like he is. Let me check my phone real quick. Okay,
as you did come by to meet at the ground or the one little hovel that leads to the Mages Guild, you did notice the likeness of you hanging from one of the gallows.
Ooh.
Oh, Sean, you're back just in time. Can you hear us? Can we hear you?
Is this even Sean? Is it a doppelganger?
It could be a doppelganger. I don't know 100%.
Could it be a doppelganger on the gallows?
Yeah. Which, by the way, big fan of the fact that they decided to hang that guy, because that's what I would have done. Yinvrath would walk by, stand by it for a couple seconds staring at it, letting anyone nearby just see, yes, they tried to imitate me and now they're dead. And then she'd move on.
Oh, yeah.
Sean, I think I saw your thing light up. You there? Can you hear us?
I mean, we did hear him. I saw him lighting up.
So close.
I heard him. So, I don't know.
I feel like we are so close to having Sean with us. I can practically taste it.
Oh boy.
Yesta. Well, seeing how he's here, we could probably, like, I don't know, start maybe?
I'm kind of picturing Jester like pulling like levers and all this stuff just to like get something to work.
I saw his thing light up again. Check your chart or check your microphone hookup, Jesta. If you can even hear us.
He hasn't typed anything in.
Sorry, folks. Technical difficulties as always.
It's also our first day back for a while, so I'm not too worried about how fast we're going.
Let's see.
We are playing.
Yep, there you go. I suppose we could probably get started or something.
Yeah.
Also, I can't hear JJ very well.
You can't hear me?
Oh, much better. Now I can hear you.
Over here. I'll move the app over here so I'm looking where the mic is.
Ha ha ha. But yeah, I'm ready if everyone else is.
So what are we discussing with Tresker?
He said he had a job for us.
Okay. I just want to know what we're doing here.
Yeah, and then also there was one other thing. He was like, "Oh yeah, let's talk about your housing problem," and I'm like, "Oh."
Right.
We've got a fix for right now, so I'm not planning on talking anything serious with him.
Aww. I have a nice offer for you.
Well, I'll certainly hear that offer out. Not saying I'm not, but you know, looking gift horses and mouths is my specialty.
But is inserting foot in mouth up to me your specialty?
Oh no, never. You think Yendrath ever acts as if she's done something wrong?
Maybe not on the outside.
Yeah, right. She did once on the inside, and that was about it.
It's what's on the inside that counts. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Tusker does show up.
Okay.
The organs.
Jodin is playing aloof right now. That's how we'll do it.
Yeah, he's basically being himself.
He's not watching the horses, but he's acting like he's watching the horses.
Of course. So all three are hearing this in your head. Welcome. We will discuss the little proposition about your housing first. We'll keep it short.
And she kind of nods.
There is a building that would quite suit your needs and would be very easily defendable if you needed to.
Kind of says, "Do tell."
So in your heads, a picture pops up.
And
it's one of the upper spires that are coming down from the roof of the cavern.
Okay.
And as the picture draws in closer, you notice that it's actually fortified.
Interesting.
A couple of little landing areas here and there for flying creatures. And a magical circle that you're getting the feeling that it's a teleport pad.
Okay.
Definitely plenty of room for your people.
Right.
You're even getting a picture of your current house staff there with you. So like everybody would literally up and move. There is also access, you're getting the feeling of, to the Underdark itself. You wouldn't have to go through Gloomfall itself, the Reach of the Caverns.
Am I able to actually like telepathically speak with him? Am I being blocked? Like
No. Communication is open 2 ways.
Okay. I get the sense that this may be tied to some sort of job.
Not necessarily to a job, but it's an offer from the Four.
He says, "And what of our old domicile then?"
Oh, we'll revert back to its original owner. He'll figure out what to do with it.
Wait, you mean like the owner that you guys keep referring to?
It's the owner they keep referring to.
Is there no way we can keep both? Or is that not part of the deal?
Well, if you did wish to keep the old place, you would have to negotiate with the actual owner. I'm quite sure he would be amicable to come up with a deal. But I warn you, he is one that you really need to read the fine print.
This wouldn't happen to be one of your three other friends, would it?
No. But he is known by us. He is one of the council members.
Now, I have a question. Ever since we've gotten here, there's been a very clear sense that you've been helping us. And on top of that quite a few things have been falling in line for us, even though we had something of what some might call a breach of faith in one's abilities. We did not make out very well in our last job. Now, you say I make an interesting subject, but at the end of the day, I understand grand designs, and I understand that I'd never fully understand one grand design. But there is the question, why us? What do you see? What is the point, and why try and wrest the house from our hands?
As to the first part of your question, you all have survived down here against all odds. You all should have been dead by now. That's why you're interested, especially to us. We see potential.
I mean no disrespect, but I don't think we came to this meeting for flattery.
Oh no, he's simply answering a question.
Trust me, flattery is not my strong suit. My floating friend sometimes has it. But that's when he's looking for a meal.
Kind of nods and says, so with this potential, if we are to work with you, and we are to, say, work within your biddings while expanding our own realm, less of a subservience, more of a subcontracting that might lead into partnership. What might we aim to gain aside from striking out on our own?
Mentally, you swear he's smiling.
Yeah.
He doesn't have, like, the mouth they have just doesn't.
Can I make a sense motive just so I can, like, try and be on top of this conversation?
Sure.
Hell yeah, because that's totally what Yenvrath does. And matter of fact, I'll also roll out a diplomacy. Because I want this whole thing to be like, hey, listen, I'm coming to you straight up. So give it to me straight up. Like, that's kind of what she's going for. Meh on the sense motive, but the diplomacy, on the other hand, will hopefully be better. Yeah.
Oh, diplomacy is much better.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what plus 24 gets you.
Yes, it does. What will it get you? Let's just say certain people, certain organizations have become too stale. There needs to be a change. I believe you have what it takes to bring that change.
She's actually going to pause. She's going to let that soak in. And, man, I wish Sean were here because I want Jodin to hear this in fucking real time and get his reaction. But she's going to be like, you know, I've actually been destined for change. Have you seem a powerful man. Have you heard of my meeting that I had with my guide?
I know more than you will ever know.
Yeah, and she says, well, then I'll give it to you straight. I've designs for ruling this place within my own bubble. Maybe Gloomfall, maybe larger. At minimum, I want the biggest piece of the pie. Not as big of a piece that you all have. Not yet, anyway. But I will probably be the first person to be transparent with you. Making an ally with me means that I will be your ally until you have decided to betray that. I do not plan on betraying anyone that I tell I will not. And on top of that, the investment that you might have within me, well, let's just say that it has been destined to grow. If nothing else, the drow houses will fall to their knees, and they will realize the error of their ways, believing in themselves to the point where they believe effort is beneath them. The Duragar will be the first casualty, though.
Interesting. Already aspirations of power.
And like he can tell she's not hiding this at all. He can tell she fully like if he knows the whole like Lolth thing, like she believes it 100%. Again, I'm leaving that up to you as to whether that is true or not. But she 100% is like, yeah, no. When I was a kid, I was visited by Lolth, and she turned me into a half drow to make a point. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, you can believe whatever you want.
Yeah. But like, no, she'll be like, so, you'll have to give us a moment to think about this change in domicile. We still have many questions about our own home that we might wish to explore slightly.
As you wish.
Though, might I assume that the offer will stay open for a brief window while I discuss with everyone else at the house?
The offer stands. Take the time you need.
He kind of nods and says, well, thank you very much. And by the way, seeing how everyone in here but her is a psionic, she's probably talking in her head at this point. She's not wasting breath. She think it would be disrespectful and probably ignorant looking for her to be talking out loud in this kind of company.
Mm-hmm.
That's up to you.
Yeah, no, she's definitely talking in her head.
Now, to business. The business offer. Your desire to bring down the drow houses might come to fruition quicker than you think.
Kind of nods.
There is a house that we wish to see implode.
He kind of, sorry, I'm responding to Sean. and matter of fact, if he can pop in without Foundry,
Yeah,
if
he
you
can pop in chat. That's fine.
yeah, and then if you just want to give me if he needs a roll control of his character sheet, because yeah, I def want Sean to be around for this because this is like right up Sean's wheelhouse of like, there we go, Sean, can you hear us?
Give it a moment. There we go.
Yo.
Yay.
So Sean, what you have missed. Scott gave a wonderful, beautiful, and amazing sermon. And we actually got some cool kobolds who will be willing to work in a mine for us. Who also
16 of them.
Yeah. They also want to kill our lore spinner, so that's fun. They won't, but they want to.
Well, one has expressed interest. The others they're not stupid. They know they won't be able to take it on.
The other thing is we are at lunch with Trusker. Trusker offered us a spot, and actually this would be a good time because you did come in right after the offer. He basically said, hey, we can get you set up in a spire with all of your current people, including those who you just picked up and those who came with the house. And we would just take the house back.
Yeah, they implied that they want the house, basically.
Right, which I said, hey, we'll think about it and talk about it. Also, Yenvrath openly said every single drow house will come to its knees for believing that hard work is below it and that effort is below it. But the first casualty will be the Duragar. She also made a weird insinuation about a connection with Lolth, like a really personal one. So that's kind of what you picked up on so far.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. It seems like every time I try to load Foundry up, everything freezes.
I think Foundry's too intensive for your computer.
It might be.
Yeah, we need to get you a new computer sometime. I need to figure out how I can facilitate that a bit because I think I might be able to.
Oh.
But yeah, Jodin probably would have taken note about like, hey, what the fuck was Yenvrath talking about? About like she's destined to destroy all the drow houses and like talking about Lolth.
Well, I mean, he doesn't. He's not a devout follower of Lolth, and he has his own reasons for not really caring about like the like he has enemies back home. He really doesn't like his interest in the politics is basically spreading his own power. He doesn't have like any nationalistic pride.
Yeah, and where you're cutting back in, and I think this definitely would be the point where Jodin would like ditch the aloofness for half a second, is our friend here just said that he wanted one of the drow houses to implode, implying that that's our job.
I think I think Jodin would probably respond to the offer about the spire and be like, first of all, if we're talking about trading in a house for the house for the spire, do we get it to at least see the property before we make a decision? You know, location is just simply everything.
That can be arranged.
And I think he'd be like, I think in terms of, what was the second thing?
He wants us to implode a drow house.
Oh.
He hasn't given us any detail yet. He just said, there's a drow house that I would like to implode.
He actually did say one other thing, that certain businesses have gotten stale and that there's room for change.
Yes. Like certain organizations, yeah.
I think Jodin would probably say something like, oh yes, and the seasons change and the politics change with it. Pleasure is really more my business, and you know, it pays to know who is in season and who is in fashion. After all, who pays for pleasure but those who have the power to do so? Implode it. as far as imploding a Drow house, I get that there's some implication that there's a specific one you wish to see implode, and he probably is just like there's a, and he's kind of doing this as he's kind of like basically looking like maybe he's like staring at whatever art is on the wall, or drinking or something, probably a little bit of both. Like he's clearly has questions that are relevant, but he's posing them in a way that sounds kind of perfunctory, like maybe it's stuff that he's heard before, but he's not. Like there's something that feels obligatory about it. Like Yingrath would see through this and be like, yeah, he's pretending that he's going through the motions, but he actually probably cares great deal more about the answers than he's putting on.
What is he going on like many people say, kind of stuff?
Yeah, he's basically just doing that thing of like, um, he's doing a little bit of dissembling to a certain extent. And but he is also at the same time negotiating the possibility of a job. If this guy if he wants us to make a Drow house implode, there should probably be some payment involved. And Jodin is sort of doing a roundabout way of getting to that. Like, you realize such an operation would be dangerous, costly. It'd have to, it would require a great deal of resources. And then, of course, there is the time involved to put it through somewhat more liquid estimable essence of the negotiation.
First and foremost, before we get into any negotiation, I'd like to hear the deal. What details have you about this potential job, Trusker?
Let's say this particular house has overstepped its bounds.
Would it be the one that was imitating me? Or myself?
That is the one.
Ah, so it is personal then. Kind of smiles.
It's more than personal. They have been skirting around certain traditions, for the lack of a better way of putting it, trying to acquire power when they shouldn't be.
I think Jodin gets a slightly disdainful look when you talk about like tradition. When he says the word tradition, he's like, "I've never been one for tradition." But then again, mm, some traditions bring about a sense of continuity, a sense of groundedness that is important to some people and can also be taken advantage in the right situations.
Now,
I believe you have correctly stated what I was trying to say. They have
Further,
decided to break the continuity.
what what manner of tradition are they breaking? Pay, or is this a tradition to a higher power?
Not to a higher power, but the power hierarchy that has been established within this lovely city.
Hmm.
mm,
The drow houses here are allowed to exist because they know their place. This one, its most current matron, has decided it wants to go for a power grab.
mm, tell me, what what social events might the matron or her emissaries attend this season?
And what name is bared by this house?
Now you're making me look up my notes.
Oh, you knew we were going to want to have some details.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, I know, and I'm trying to remember where the hell did I put the name of the houses? I did write them down.
I'm excited because I'm excited to dissemble each and every one of them, nail by nail. And that's not a metaphor for nails in a house. I mean literally fingernail by fingernail.
Don't forget the toenails. There's a fun part to rip off.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you know what? I knew there was a reason that we kept CERN around.
You see, I prefer bamboo shoots.
Ah, that would make sense as well. It'd be a fun one.
Especially like brand new little baby ones, and they have their own little water source, so they keep growing.
Oh, yeah. And they
Under the
just keep
nails
on.
and then
Yeah,
slowly
yeah.
creep up the fingers.
Oh, yeah. For those of you in the audience, that's what we call a big ouch.
That's the bake splinter.
Mm-hmm. Now, Sean, let me give you, while he's looking that up, let me give you my concerns and things I'm reading from this. One, they want us to get rid of the house. We've been told the house has a lot of power. It might be more trouble than it's worth, but we definitely want to consider that. Two, we are for sure playing Patsy for these guys. Or not Patsy, but we're playing henchman for these guys right now. I'm kind of okay with that because it's already getting me to a couple ends that I want, and the means always justify the ends for Yin Brats. So but that's something we got to be wary of they are definitely using us.
Well, yeah, and that's been obvious from the very beginning. They knew too much about us. They were already glad handing out too many favors. Everything like that is an opportunity because the more we're close to anybody who's trying to use us, the more we can learn about them.
Oh yeah.
And as far as it goes, with the house's magical things have never necessarily been detailed, and I don't know that I've always gotten an ambivalent read on that it might be something that was powerful we want to hang on to, but it also might be a whole lot of trouble.
Yeah, like a big ass liability. Yeah.
Almost being set up to some extent.
Yeah.
But in some ways, there are a lot of power, who facilitated the loan and the sale to us of that house to begin with, and were they being moved by the same people who are trying to move us now?
And on top of that, where the fuck does my money go?
Well, personally, as a player, I'm curious about learning what parties besides them gain for the loss of the ones that we're taking out. Because then we'd know at least a little bit better idea of what part are we actually playing.
Well, and
we also
who can we deflect the blame to after it's all said and done?
And I think something is going. Yeah, no, setting up patsies for ourselves is important. I think one thing that we need to do too is we need to talk to the salamanders, or not the salamanders, but the place the salamanders are from. We need to talk to their clutch mother, because I feel like defining that relationship between them and Trusker would be pretty enlightening to me. Because if they're here because Trusker wants them to be here, that's more of an expression. But if they're here for a different reason, that's another person we have to worry about pleasing potentially down the road.
Right. Well, as far as it goes, the salamanders, when I read their minds, they basically seem to be here because they were ordered to be because the tribe was grateful to us for dealing with the Duergar or something. And
sure. For me, my big thing though is even if they believed that,
exactly, there's nothing saying that they can't be given different orders down the road that they don't even have yet.
Right, because salamanders aren't exactly the most free-willed of creatures. They're very communal. So they're the kind of things that'll throw their lives away because something says, okay, go fight that thing. You're probably going to die, but you're buying more of us more time. And they go, okay, with no question. Like,
right.
So like that's the question that I have, which is like I want to know where the head of that group sits politically and like where they sit towards us, because otherwise I think that's going to be a weird pocket question mark that
that's why I'm trying to get invited to big social events and start hobnobbing in certain circles so that I can start sussing out what, who all of the major people we need to be concerned with are, who's a threat, who's a potential ally, who can we use, who can we set up to take a fall, who's going to, who's going to prove useful. And once I'm able to get my business together, I'll be utilizing that theater troupe to spread some
propaganda
as well.
We
want to have like satires and shit written.
Yeah, here's the big thing that I'm thinking right now, macro scale. So when I got the vision of that room, of all four of them sitting around a map, there was nothing saying whether they were like palling around, whether they were having a competition. It's implied that all four of them are associated with each other, but I could see this being a chessboard situation just as easily as I could see it being like a situation of we rally the Underdark for a bigger purpose, probably against the surface or to our own means. I could see it being alliance as much as it could be a fun competition club, all that stuff. So I want to know who opposes the four and who has the actual ability to oppose the four, and what in do we have in case the four start to be an issue to us.
Right.
We need a plan. Like
that's why we need to know who all the players are.
Absolutely.
And know everything we can about them.
Absolutely. No, I'm definitely agreeing with you.
And once I set up the Velvet Caress Society with all its cover businesses and whatnot, I'm gonna get into that because with Gunner stepping out, I'll take over Spy Master because
hell yeah.
I think everybody kind of was leaning. I think everybody thought that's what I was gonna do initially anyway.
Yeah.
So might as well.
Yeah, I mean, why not? Yeah, I feel like that works, and it still fits pretty well into your idea. Yeah. Sorry, Brian, we've cut you off for a long time.
Because I can't find my original rules, so I just made new ones.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
And actually put it down in my in-game.
Yeah, I have to do that all the time. I always forget to do it, and then I slap myself on the wrist. So
the house that they are looking at for you to implode is Androk.
All right.
Put it in chat.
Oh, nice.
I'm gonna have to have you guys do the remembering for me on that for the time being.
Oh, I have some of the Drow House names actually.
Oh, you do? Good.
Yeah, I have Uraba and Hunatek.
Okay.
So Uraba was the smugglers.
Yeah, I think they were the ones that were close to where my townhouse is.
Oh, you're thinking Hunatek. So that's Drow House 2, very, very loyal Drow House city defenders.
Oh, okay.
So are we going with Androk or Hunatek?
No, Androk.
Okay, right on. So I'll replace that in my notes.
Yes, and those are the smugglers.
Oh, wait, Hunatek are the smugglers? Or no. Androk are the smugglers, and they are loyal to Lolth.
Right.
All right. Drow House 1, Harborfolk smugglers, loyal to Lolth. And then as for is there another Drow House?
No,
that we know of right now?
Hunatek.
Yeah.
That's the only other one.
Okay, and they're city defenders?
They're city defenders, and they're loyal to the Dead 3.
Ah. Loyal to Dead 3, and then Dead 3 undead presence in town.
Is that the 3 that I visited with
Thrain? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that actually they might be the closest opposition now that I'm thinking about it to the 4. So that's something to consider.
Have you guys talked to him since I've talked to him?
No,
Am I the only one
not
who
yet.
Nobody
has
has.
contact with him at this point?
Nobody's bothered to go back into the necropolis.
Yeah, we didn't get Thrain back. We didn't get Thrain back, and we just kind of assumed, well, he fucked up. Like,
Yeah, we got a. I don't think we have anybody that necessarily specialized in talking to undead, so it didn't occur to us. Plus, we had
yeah,
other fish to fry coming back in.
I was
yeah,
just curious if I was the last one to be in
yeah.
contact with him.
Yes, you were
Yes,
out of
basically,
here.
you were.
But yeah, she'll go. House Androck. Their loyalty to Lolth. I've one question for you. Do they seem as if they wish to struggle? Or do they often find themselves relaxing on their laurels?
Hmm. Just making sure my notes are up to date.
Yeah.
They have relaxed more.
Then clearly they no longer are loyal to Lolth. And as she like leans like into herself with this kind of like Jodin, you immediately know the kind of drow that she is when it comes to religion. She's one of them crazy Lolth motherfuckers. Like that question and answer alone is enough to tell you, oh, she's like Lolth worshiper.
I think Jodin probably keeps his like, for the time being, he's gonna keep his peace, but he's got something further to say on this issue when in private. But at the moment, he's like, uh, I too enjoy a bit of the leisure activities. If
Yeah.
only, if only the business of pleasure was more pleasurable sometimes. And he just kind of, and he kind of like basically like you probably get that that's a, he has more to say, but everybody else in the room, he just kind of looks like he's just bored and being a part of the conversation mostly because he's expected to be.
Oh, I will tell you one more thing. We are all mentally communicating because Yenvrath was like, I'm the only one in here who doesn't have psionics, but it would definitely be rude and also look kind of ignorant if I just spoke out loud. So, like, she's just allowing everyone to connect to her, essentially.
Here's actually, I have a question then from here. Does Yinrath just assume that his character, that the character,
oh shit, you're right.
Jessa,
you're right. She probably
just
would be speaking out loud because she doesn't know that Jesta's a psionic
Exactly.
yet.
I'm curious.
Yep, exactly.
No, good point. So yeah, she would be speaking out loud for the benefit of her friend. Is the fun part.
That's
Which does make her look like a fool, but that's fine.
But that's okay because Jodin is responding like he is unaware that there's any psionic communication going on anyway.
Yeah.
Because like he's very much playing a role of what he intends for people to expect of him.
Yeah.
He's got some good questions, but he always seems very bored and disaffected, and like he's just doing it because he has to. He didn't actually appear to the uninitiated to actually care about the questions, but Yingrath would kind of figure that out.
Yeah.
I honestly, for some reason, the aloofness kind of, I always picture like, like there's like these characters like talking, having a serious conversation, and this character's just kind of like roaming around in the background, doing dumb shit, and then like literally like as passes by, just throws one important question out.
Looks at a book on a bookshelf for a second, kind of does that like shrug and puts it back, like
he just stands and stares at some art on the wall for a minute, and then goes over and fucking picks up a goblet and looks at it really quickly, studies it intently.
Well, it's ADHD brain, but it's also like it's ADHD, but it works to his benefit.
Yeah.
Anyway, what is this privately rolled dice? I'm scared. As always. Oh God.
He's doing math.
he's looking up the chart of most interesting ways to kill a drow.
Oh man.
Oh no, I already.
Wait, there's a specific chart for race?
Don't worry. No, I'm contemplating looking at my Grimtooth stuff.
Uh-huh. Grimtooth.
I just may know what those books are.
Yeah, I'll look it up.
Grimtooth. I'm trying to remember what that's from.
They were a series of books. Third-party books for AD&D.
Oh.
Were they like lore books?
Oh, like the Grimtooth traps?
Yes.
Oh, I see.
Oh,
Yeah.
Christ. I've looked through these.
Disgusting.
I've looked through these. I made a wizard tower with 2 of these traps, and they were both traps that basically, that killed one of my players and very nearly killed the other one.
There's a final book in the series where they put all the traps in a dungeon.
Oh, God.
Yes, try going through that dungeon without dying.
God.
And I've met a person
Party
who's
of rogues.
converted all the GURPS.
Yeah. But yeah.
But anyway, we digress.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Don't. He's not trying to figure out how to kill a drow. He already knows how to kill your kind.
Oh, I'm sure.
Is there anything else you need to know about this potential job?
Smugglers, what is their main smuggling operation? People, drugs, things. Say what?
Their main operation? People.
Willing or unwilling?
All theirs are unwilling.
And
they
yeah, you get it.
Specialize in elves.
Surface or kin.
I think he like wrinkles. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and Jodin, just thematically, you're getting a great view of Yinvrath's slave tattoo right now as her face kind of slatens, I guess.
I think like this is the point. Like his nose crinkles a little bit, but it's hard to tell if it's because of what he's looking at on the piece of parchment that he's picked up off of, the nearest piece of furniture, and is just staring at, or if it's what was actually said. He kind of looks at you for a minute, and and kind of is like, "How old is this parchment?" I'd say it's its approximate value seems to be rather high. Like, you didn't exactly answer my question about the parties. After all, I do intend to make business as pleasurable as possible, and if these individuals, if House and Doc, you say, are into leisure, well, perhaps I might be able to find out more if I knew where they actually hung out, what events they went to, that since coming to town, that has been one of the things I have failed to read up on, what the major social events of the season are.
Those I do not necessarily partake of.
Do you know where I might find more information? Someone who does know more about the social calendar around here. I mean, I can snoop around of my own, but it would save some legwork.
The House of the Fair Maiden should be able to help you with that.
Ah.
And they should help you with the Drow House as well, as the 2 young prince frequent it a lot.
Interesting. And he's like, I imagine that I might want to pop in and pay a visit. As a fellow entrepreneur.
As for the logistical issues of grinding them into the dirt with my heel, are there any methods off the table? How much publicity must I avoid? And what is my timetable?
No overt tactics. It must look like they've done it to themselves.
Okay, well, how long until we look like we've become stale?
As long as it takes you. This is the long game.
He kind of smiles and says, the long game is the only one that I play. And she kind of looks and says, and I think I can answer the question of how long until we seem irrelevant that was asked by my companion. And I believe that answer is as long as we are useful, we shall stay non-stagnant. And she kind of looks at Trusker with like a agree.
Oh, I believe you'll be useful, as you put it, for a very long time.
Yeah, she'd nod.
I believe there was a concern about payment.
Oh, yes, I'd almost forgotten. Compensation, overhead costs, logistics, that sort of thing.
A small chest appears in front of you, Miss Yinrath.
He will nod and slide it over to Zalakorian, or not Zalakorian, to Jodin without even opening it.
That should help start to cover your costs.
Is it unlocked?
Oh, it's not locked.
Yeah, why would he lock it? He'd be like, "Here's a chest. Fuck you."
No. I was gonna just levitate the cover.
The lid open. Ah, yes.
Yes. So this is a small, about a foot and a half wide by about a foot and a half long by a foot wide by about a foot deep.
Ooh.
And you lift the lid up, and about a half inch below the lip begins all the platinum coins that you can see.
Brian ain't fucking around.
Interesting. Nope. This could go. This could go quite a ways towards easing a bit of the sweat from the brow.
We'll call it social lubrication. She says,
You can call it whatever you wish.
She says, we'd be more than happy to work towards the downfall. I'm assuming that you wouldn't mind if we took some of our own eaves and grievances from this household as we take it down. Chunks of shareholdings within land, physical goods, anything of that sort that we're able to scalp and scoundrel away while we're doing our more subtle work.
As I said, the only condition is no overt actions. If you're able to secure their land and commodities without it being drawing too much attention, that's all we care about.
He'll nod and Jodin, she'll actually look at you, and this is like in front of Trusker, like she clearly doesn't care, and she says, Marshall's going to be taking more of a background occupation towards looking after the house and our direct staff. If you wouldn't mind filling the place of treasurer, I trust you enough to know that if you stole all of my money, you'd at least leave me a nice note on the way out.
It would be the most polite and kind note you ever saw. Yeah, so, um, like, he's not gonna count it here. Like,
Right.
you're definitely gonna be like, it'd probably be a look at since Zalakorian is already levitating the lid and whatnot. He's like, I presume that you are capable of carrying the chest as well.
How heavy is it actually? I'm curious.
Um, you could easily levitate it. Because you feel the magical energies sort of in and about the chest itself.
I like the idea of magical energies. I wonder what kind of... I wonder if it's the chest or if it's something buried under the platinum.
At the moment, Zalcorians only get the inkling from the chest itself.
Perhaps a chest of holding. Who knows?
Mm.
But yeah, she'd say, well...
Be a fun place to put a body.
Right? No joke.
Spoken like a true kobold.
I'd probably look at him and say, is there anything else that you wish for us to know before we leave?
At the moment, no. I will send more information to you tomorrow.
Yeah, and...
in the form of a couple of men.
A couple of men?
Couple? Yes. A couple of men. That would work out perfectly.
He kind of says, well, my front gate is always open to you, but please, the next time you enter, just for the sake of the others, if you wouldn't mind knocking.
I try to.
Yeah. She kind of nods and stands up and says, does anyone else have any other questions of this job?
None that he's gonna ask here.
Oh.
I have a question of Trusker.
Yes, young.
My understanding is that he knows a bit of magic. Is that correct? It's not just he's just a
little bit.
Oh yeah, he is the head of the Mages Guild.
That's so I was just vaguely remembering this. I wanted to confirm it. So my question is, as a budding illithid and an investment in possibly being of more use, is there any chance I can have access to the Mages Guild library?
Good question.
I will need to think on that. You have not grown into your powers yet. So I do sense you're of the brethren that follow the arcane. I will let you know within a day whether you can have access or not.
Well, I appreciate your time.
Yeah, and she'd say, thank you for inviting us to lunch. Though no dishes were had, I feel quite sated.
So, yeah, I think Jodin probably is studying the glove, like his like fancy gloves that he's wearing. He always wear. He bought like a noble's outfit and a fucking royal outfit. Like he buys fancy clothes, and because
yeah.
Oh yeah, Yinrath's in a noble's
by the way,
too, yeah.
After Yinrath's comment about like feeling full even though there was no food, Sinrath, Zali turns to you and says, "Oh, that was me. Um, I'm actually kind of satisfied with the amount of information we got."
She, she's going to look at Zalakorian and go, and you like, Jodin can very clearly tell she's trying to not say one thing, and she says, "Excellent,
yeah,
Zalakorian. I'm glad to hear that."
Yeah, Jodin's probably like at this point standing on the other side of Zalakorian when he says this and sees your face, and like when you look there and try to like make your deal, he just cocks an eyebrow at you like, how you gonna react?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah. I mean, she's good to her people, but she's like, yeah, man, that was the whole point. Like,
God, there you go.
I fucking love that.
like,
No, that was good. That was good. But yeah, I think she'll take lead, and we'll all head out of the tower.
Yes. As you head out, you sort of do see the body again,
Yeah.
but this time it's a nondescript face, and the skin's all gray.
No more shall it be pretend wrath. I believe it is a change.
Well, it's change into something.
Yeah. I look and I say, even in death, they aren't able to capture my splendor. With like a smug grin on her face.
And with that, everybody is back at the house.
Hey.
Back to maid duty.
Guess who's back? Back again. What were you gonna say?
I think at some point, Jodin would probably like pull Yingrath aside for a conversation.
Oh, absolutely.
And
I'm standing right next to both of y'all. We're trying to have this conversation.
yeah, he's not going to broach this conversation with anybody else but Yingrath around.
Oh yeah.
He's just.
I think she'll probably say, "Cern, I appreciate the company, but give me one moment. I believe that my friend has probably something embarrassing and medical to talk to me about."
Right. 16. We got 16. We're good.
She smiles and goes, "Excellent. Well, as soon as we have this mine, we will have ample workers."
Yeah, I think like if we can get that,
Yeah.
like the moment that like
I think Yinvrath will probably pull you aside. She might even pull you into like her room, which is like her office, which is decorated
like
pretty much stock with what the mansion has, but like nothing more. Like you can tell her actual kit is very Spartan. You know.
He's like I think he says I'd like to know more about this Andok house before we just do the job. After all, we can't just go around killing everyone that has an eye towards leisure. I wouldn't have any customers left if we do that.
Probably says, well, the eye towards leisure, I only take personal umbrage with the Drow house. Otherwise, the bigger question is that where is the safety that we find in doing jobs for others that involve changing the political landscape? One never gets ahead when that is involved, and they aren't in control.
I believe in opportunity. If an opportunity presents itself, you take it, you make the most of it, but you keep your eyes open for those who opened the opportunity for you, because it was always someone else's doing that opened something. My larger concern is that we still need those tools that we can use and work with. Sometimes an enemy is better left alive as a source of useful information, and there are more than one way. There's several ways, in fact, to fleece a noble dry. After all, I was of a noble house myself, a very humble one. Well, if such a word can ever be termed to any drow house, but the very minor house. But there is some currency to be had in making certain that there are still those who believe themselves in more control of their situation than we actually are.
Kind of.
Leverage, leverage, my lady.
And she kind of pauses.
Information is leverage.
Yeah, and she like listens very intently and then kind of takes a deep breath and goes, Gloomfall is considered an independent territory. And with all of the factions that come along with it, this is something that one might consider to be advantageous for someone in our position. There is much cachet in siding with certain groups, though I shall make my opinion clear now. Drow houses do not fit my mold of convenience. If there is to be a house of Drow, then I shall be the only one to head it. And if there are to be any others, they shall seem as pretenders. There are many other factions that we may dabble with in the town.
I think Jodin kind of like gestures and says, just hear me out for a moment. Having another drow house that believe themselves to be your equal, that you control the flow of information to and from. You see, a shadowed hand is always easier to master is easier to use mastering puppets. If you have a house that believes themselves on fair footing, and I have my way of it, then they will be attending my parties. They will be coming to my establishments. And all the while, they will be given and they will be having information taken from them at the same time without their very knowledge. I do understand a bit about informational currency. I did spend a little time apprenticing with a master merchant, much to my family's chagrin, probably why they hate me so much. But that's beside the point. As it were, the man had a master's touch. Everyone believed him to be their equal or their servant. All the while, he pulled the strings from behind. He made certain that the prices were always exactly what he needed them to be in order for him to generate the most proper the most amount of profit, dropping hints here and there through third parties that perhaps the market was up for this item or down for that item, and then taking advantage of that disinformation. A similar tactic would seem to be very necessary here, and I'm not saying we spare every drow house, but the ones that we find that we can manipulate to our own advantage, you could rule them without them ever knowing you're ruling.
And she kind of nods to that and says, For now, ruling will suffice. But note this. My goal is not simply to rule. At the end of the day, my goal is to bring righteous retribution and to rule. And she kind of gives you this slight smile that is very clearly very clearly, maybe not a message to you, but like more of like a specific yeah, no, I'm not fucking around. You know what I mean?
Right.
She definitely has this kind of angle. And like, you weren't around, Jodin wasn't around for the Half-Blood Empress thing, so he probably doesn't understand where she's coming from as like, she's fucking crazy. Like,
I feel like I'm getting the sense that the smile is kind of like, you're on board.
Oh, exactly, right? Like, she's...
Well, I think...
At the very least, Jodin can tell whether he believes he can use this or not. Like whether, because Joden seems like the type to like believe he can use whatever. Like it's very clear that like this conversation could just as easily be applied to him and Yinvrath. You know what I mean? And like I think that like Yinvrath is the type of paranoid and the type of crazy to just be like very openly like, no, I don't trust anyone. I don't even trust you. And I do want to destroy them. If this isn't a pragmatism, this is a want. Like, you know what I mean?
It's like Garrick in Deep Space Nine.
Yeah.
Like he poses something to Cisco in Pale Moonlight about like lying and saying that it cost a whole lot of for like giving false information and telling somebody that it cost a whole lot of lives to get it across, only to pull the same trick on him like 2 days later.
Yeah, no, Yinvrath. I think that I think I was trying to figure out how I wanted to phrase what Yinvrath is trying to say, and the way that I view it is like you're smart enough to get this. Yeah, I think that Yinvrath is phrasing this as you two are having the same and different conversations. You're having the same conversations about power, but you're having different conversations because you're coming at it from pragmatism. Yinvrath is very clearly trying to express, no. Well, I'm not doing this because I think it's good for things. I want to destroy these houses because I want to destroy them.
Right. Well, there's a difference in motivation here.
Yeah, exactly. Joden doesn't want to rule the world. He just wants to rule his part. Meanwhile, Yinvrath believes she is on a divine mission to teach retribution to the Drow people.
Yeah. I think Joden probably shrugs and says, perhaps we'll agree to disagree for the time being. Some bridges are better burned only at the most opportune times. And some bridges and he kind of smiles and he goes, and I have a feeling that you're rather heavy with a torch. And he just kind of smiles, and there's just something ambivalent and dissembling about the way that about what he's saying. Like it's very metaphorical in a lot of ways, but he's just like, and he's like, for the time being, I suppose he said, and he's like, at the moment, like there's a real like sense of our agendas are aligned for the time being.
Oh, absolutely.
But, like, there's a big question. Like, he's definitely leaving a big question mark in the air of like, will there come a time where that difference of motivation becomes a problem?
And probably
he's just not going to answer the question right now. He's just
probably. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, he's probably just going to leave it up in the air and just be like, fuck it for the time being.
And I think that probably because Yinvrath is not stupid, she does have a reassurance for it. And essentially she says, there's one thing that you need to know that is about you and I and everyone else in this house. And it's a core philosophy I've held for my entire life, only reinforced by my circumstance. That would be this. I believe in developing talent. And I also believe that the people you are good to will be good to you. And as a single reassurance, unless you decide one day that you choose to not be good to me, I will always treat you well.
He just kind of looks at her. And goes, he just kind of goes, and now that we've gotten the trifle dramatic out of the way, and he goes, and he's totally blowing the conversation off here. He's like, and now that we've gotten the trifle dramatics out of the way here, to the actual plan of attack, as it were. You might want to stay your bloodthirsty hand per the client's wishes, and allow me to search the social scene and see what I can dig up and find out if this is even possible for us in our current state of development.
Please, this is the main reason why I believe that, well, I believe in developing talent. And you, my friend, are very talented.
And we also require to make that trip to the spire and see if it's more trouble than it's worth, or if this place is.
We'll need to have a conversation. I believe I would like to include the house staff with it, because, well, they're the ones who are sworn to this place, and we were promised they would be going to the new one. I'd like to hear what their opinion is of it. As I've said before, and this is one point I will not belabor, I do not believe in slavery. These
Oh,
people
no, no.
are these people are servants to us only by their own volition and by our own pockets.
He kind of smiles. He goes, "See, we do agree upon one or two things here and there."
Yeah.
He says, "I I find that one's employees or servants, if you will, tend to do a far better job if they believe they're being appreciated and compensated for it. The economics of it generally work out to about the same in these conditions, but the appearance and illusion of choice does give them much more motivation to excel."
One cannot climb a ladder if their hands are chained together.
True, and this is why most Drew believe in a philosophy of slavery, because they believe that they don't wish to have anyone challenging them to climb a ladder. All of that arrogance and such secret shame and shameful actions, that they're so scared that their sense of superiority might be so damaged if someone were to be born into the with bit more a bit more where ambition meant a bit more than one's humble beginnings.
You see a glint in Yinvrat's eyes as you say that, and she says, and that, precisely, is why most of them, well, most all drow houses deserve their comeuppance. Arrogance, but without skill to back it.
Oh
One could
no,
not abide it in any way.
I know that there are a great many who do have the skill. Their arrogance is to some degree earned, but
When
there's a lot more of them out there than are just in this city, and the ones in this city may have connections outwards as well. A thing
that
to
is fine.
consider. A thing to consider as we go forward.
She kind
Any
of
any plan we do we do make requires that we consider blowback from possible friends and allies.
this is expected and, well, my friend, of the sharpest blades, only one will stay sharpest. That is the one that the owner sharpens. If we are to hope to be successful, then we must not shy away from conflict, nor shy away from challenge. The pretender out there, I would have preferred to have dealt with them in my own way. However, I shall take the disservice of having this justice taken from me as a fuel to apply justice to others.
You know, one thing I would consider there. I wonder who put that changeling up to the charade of impersonating yourself. Could it have even been this very same person who tracked them down to kill them as a favor to you?
Kinda pauses and says, well, then that would imply.
Two third intermediaries outside angles?
She'd probably say, well, that would imply that House Androck would be working for their own demise, which is not entirely out of the question. But if you're wondering whether a Four or the agent of the Four manipulated that person to be into the right place at the right time to gain better leverage over
Oh,
me,
was the
potentially.
was the changeling working with the House Androck? I wasn't paying attention to that part of conversation.
Yes, yes. Unfortunately, the other Drow House believed that they needed to try and sully my slowly growing reputation before it was anything worthwhile. Again, an aversion that must be weeded out towards conflict. If they were to believe in their own power, then they would understand a pretender as they would view me, some sort of sullen half-human. Would be no threat to them, but they're scared, and they don't serve in the way that they should. Fear is not in the vocabulary of a true drow. Which again, Yenvrath is a half drow. She's everything she's saying, she means it.
I think like Jodin probably says something. Just so long as you remember that your religion is fine for you, but religion tends to bore me. So perhaps we steer clear of the conversation. I do get a little weary. I do get a little wearisome when it comes to such theological topics. I prefer to deal with the here and the now and the immediate future.
Oh yeah, Jodin is really gonna hate whenever he finds out why Yenvrath does what she does and why she believes. Like he's gonna be like, "What the fuck?" Like,
well, you get the impression that he's already figured out that you're kind of a zealot, or
oh
at least
yeah,
and this is basically him. Like this is the subtext here is essentially, look, I know you're a very I know follow your beliefs with a great deal of zeal, and I will play my part in whatever we're about to accomplish. But let's not. I don't want to talk about the religion. That's not my
yeah.
thing. You know,
Oh,
it's
absolutely.
very
Yeah,
it's him setting the ground rule with of the ground rule of everybody else is going to maybe listen to you go on these tangents, but Jodin is basically being like, when we talk, cut to the chase and talk business because
yeah,
this is him
yeah.
setting some ground rules like
And
just like trying
the real question is whether Yenvrath will actually obey those ground rules or not. I think
right
she's smart enough to typically do that, but I feel like
right
yeah, it's definitely one of those things where like it's one of those things where like you can tell she kind of
yeah
pauses for a moment, thinks about it, and you know specifically, oh, this isn't actually going to be the last I hear about religion, but like she's easing off for right now. And
right
she says, ah, understandable. There are those that believe in different cultural priorities,
eh,
whatever the case. And she
yeah.
says, and she probably says, if you wouldn't mind trying to get in with this house, figuring out what their deal is, who the major players are, the only piece I request within quick amounts of time, the only piece that I wish to have within a tight time frame.
He spreads his hands and he says, I already explained. I will take care of it.
Oh, and he
He's
says,
like,
no, no, no,
he's
no,
like,
no.
no need to belabor the
Understood.
point. He
Yeah, and
says,
she's like, the only reason I get this move, or I say that we deal with this quickly, is because it'll mean that there's more things for other members in the organization to do. Find some of their, find us a way to learn about their smuggling routes. Let's see if we can cause a few pieces of trouble without letting them know that it's us. Especially if there are more people that we are able to, well, potentially recruit or at least give a shot to climb their ladder.
let's we may need to worry about the ones we already have working on our employ before we start expanding. I would hate to say that we're overstaffed, but we do bear upon running out of room.
Oh, worry not. I have our Duragar friend working on it, and he has a potential coin purse. If we don't hear anything from him in, say, 2 days, I'll motivate him in 2 ways instead.
Yeah, I think he's probable. I think Jodin is. I might take someone with me to ostensibly be my bodyguard. One has to look somewhat important in these sort of affairs, and having a bodyguard is a expected extravagance.
Please do. I'm sure Jeremy would most certainly be at your disposal. Every resource of the Ebon Ring is, or of the Ebon Circle is. Why,
And
you're one of the founding members, of course.
it's
And
like,
I do mean what I say. Not to belabor the point, but I do support your goals. And if you need anything, if it is within my or the organization's earthly powers, we shall do so.
yeah, I think I think Jodin would probably be like, if you don't mind, I believe I have some business to attend to down at the shop, so to
Yeah,
speak. And uh, and he's gonna take off and go do business stuff for a while, and let
yeah,
some other people have some scene time for a while.
absolutely. Same here. Yeah, Yinbrath is gonna mainly stay in her room and talk business with Marshall.
I am going to try to fool CERN and Jeremy into believing I'm one of the twins,
Oh,
and to
hell yeah.
clean up after dinner and all that stuff. So yeah, I'm just gonna like, what was the meal to your liking? To CERN. Oh wow.
Sure. It was a little overcooked. I kind of like it a little juicier when I eat, but it'll
I
work
will
for
make
now.
I will make note of that and hand it off to the chef.
Well, okay. Well, whatever makes you feel better, dude.
So,
Weirdo.
Orion, give me a performance check.
Yeah. I love the idea that you fail at this performance check and then fucking like CERN also fails. So CERN's like, huh, I don't know why that maid was acting so weird.
Okay. Roll. Yes. I'm getting better.
And can I get CERN to give me a sense motive?
If it'll click. Roll.
Oh yeah, CERN is like totally believing you're one of the twins.
Yeah. All right.
Got
Cool.
your lip sync going right.
I don't know if did everybody else join for dinner? Like, is Yinrath down there and everybody?
Yeah, basically everybody would be down
Okay.
for dinner.
I would say what was it? I would
Actually, I think
say
Jodin is probably still at his shop working late.
okay.
True.
Since Yinrath is aware of what I'm doing, she would probably get a sense like that like excited for like passing, and like there would be a sense of like excitement, but like it being held back.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's a slight I don't know what would you call it, like peppiness to the walk on the way out. It's
Kind of looks as
unusual
you
for the
walk.
twins.
Yeah. Watches you walk out and be like, guess you like my answer.
And as you walk by and go into the kitchen, the other twin comes from the kitchen. And for a split second, you guys swear to God, there's 3 of them. Is there actually triplets?
But, whatever. More the merrier to look at.
We got a practical jokester for an Illithid.
I'm a big fan of that. I think that's
I'm
a good
learning
vibe.
skills, okay?
It's good.
Oh man.
God, what a fucking.
This is entertainment at its best.
Oh yeah.
Goes to the chef and says, the CERN says that the meat wasn't juicy enough.
Oh God.
That would be right, Royal. Wrong. It has all the juice in it ever has. I'm gonna go talk to that little thing and give it a. Jump in. Let's say CERN's sitting here, and the chef just gives you a once for all yabbering and halfling.
Oh, good lord! Of course, the short ones always say a lot.
I mean, CERN's a short one.
Exactly.
Yeah, fair.
Because I have no idea what he's saying, but like, they're going on again. Why do they do that?
Hmm? I can't hear Brian actually.
Oh yeah.
That's because I'm on push to talk and I'm talking
Gotcha.
to myself. Because I forgot to actually level the Ithalid class up last time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I saw that I'm level 6 right now.
Yes, you are level 6. I just forgot to put it in.
Oh, you're good. It's been I've been looking at the abilities, so I would have like if it was something big, I would have like brought it up, but so far, not so much. Like I'm not getting a bonus to charisma, for example, so I didn't bring it up. But the things I do get, since we're on the topic, I get +2 to my natural armor, which is nice.
Yes, that comes in handy.
Yeah, I'm not as squishy anymore. And then I think the other thing that was cool was where is it? Oh yeah. I get another tentacle, so 3 tentacles attacks, spell resistance, and +2 dex.
It just sounded like, oh, another tentacle just grew out. I was like, wait, what?
No, it's just my muscles on my tentacles have probably just been better used. And once I get 4, though, it's gonna be sick. Because apparently, if I land all 4 at some point, it'll just be like an instant kill for certain creatures.
The brain beaking. Mm-hmm. So, what are we doing?
I mean, I played my prank.
So, I think this is a good place to call it for tonight.
You know, like a little jovial, like hijinks to end it off. It was nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it kind of brought it full circle for at least
yeah, because we started off with Zally being a goober and trying to imitate, and then we ended with Zally being a goober and trying to imitate.
Exactly.
This time it actually worked.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Character progression.
Yes. So with sign-offs, let's start with Soul Demon. Soul Demon, you there?
You are muted, by the way, if you're trying to talk.
Well, we'll come back to him if he comes back. JJ.
Right. You have just experienced a mind flare acting as someone else. And you're gonna, I guess. So besides this game, I'm also in what was it? No nobility. My brain's
Nobility and
Nobility and
notoriety.
notoriety.
nobility and notoriety, and I play a Kenku really like bad. He's really bad at being an ambassador, but I mean, like, I feel like there's a it's gonna be interesting because he's everyone else is growing their reputation and his is going down.
Oh yeah, just plummeting.
um, It'll be interesting to see how it all plays out in the end game. So please check it out. That's every other Tuesday. It's not this Tuesday, so that'll be fun. And then every other week you catch me here doing Zally Corin with these lovely people. And then what was it? The 30th probably won't be a thing from what I understand. It's just a test game, so I may be a DM to soon on. So that'll be something to look forward to. Other than that, every Monday, I think we're doing a 10 Candles game on Monday, so that'll be fun. And that'll be at our Halloween thing. So, and a friend of mine's running it, who will actually be in our test game. So, exciting stuff. New people, and you can catch me on Facebook at Rogue Gray Fox. Yep.
Okay. Next up. Let's close this out. Jessica.
Somehow I knew you were gonna come to me next, so here I is. I am the Just King Zerat. You can catch me on Monday nights playing Fable 42, the time-traveling precog slash soldier who is in the middle of this big war with the swarm, and he's starting to develop all these crazy powers and doesn't know what to do with himself, but he's not telling everybody else that because it's classified. Um, and you caught me here tonight and can do so again every other Sunday where I'm playing Jodin. We had some really nice intense scenes here tonight with like sort of like progressing like the agendas of several characters here. So looking forward to where that goes. Outside of that, we'll see. Um, I am kind of have vague plans to maybe do some other stuff, but I don't know. That's hasn't coalesced into an actual decision on anything. But I'll let you people know when I know. On down the road.
Psychopathic.
That's me. Which I did my best to do a sermon. Everybody liked it, so hey, I probably did a good job. What else am I doing? Okay, so today's Sunday. Monday, I'll be in the Shardburg Strike. I don't know. I'm on Team Forearm, so that's all that matters. Because that team's awesome. And then Thursday we got New Amsterdam, where hey, I'm just a little kid. I don't know social interaction very well, but I just learned a lot on how to treat people correctly and how to keep friends. So yeah.
It was very sweet.
Yeah, it was.
And then every other Saturday is after the bomb thing, which my brain can't remember what's there. And then I'll be in other stuff whenever it gets into fruition and happens. Just watch. pay attention, and you'll find me in other things. It'll be fun. Yeah.
Okay, Mira.
Hello, everybody. My name is Mira, also known as Mira Shades Gaming, and tonight you caught me playing Madame Yinfrath. She's insane. What can I say? She's been fucking. She got told shut the fuck up about the religion shit, and it went in one ear and out the other. Absolutely, like she went. All right, I'll stop talking about it for now.
If anything, you probably discovered that that's a button you can press now.
Well, it's probably going to be a thing going forward because I can imagine her bringing that up again and Joe Den just like again being like, this always makes me tired.
Oh yeah,
just just playing that whole
yeah.
that because that will be his cut the shit card. Like,
Oh yeah.
this
Well, I
makes
mean,
me tired.
ideologically, it's like Yinvrath is here and her purpose is to punish the drow, and you're just like, dog, I just want to make some cheddar. Like you can stop now.
Yeah.
Like I'm not down with the weird genocide angle. We gotta stop that. But no, you can also catch me on Mondays as the other half of Team Forearms, which is pretty sick. Very excited. We're doing some hot mech action, kicking some ass. It's a good time. Catch me every other Tuesday, not this Tuesday, but next Tuesday. In the thing, the nobility and notoriety, where I play if you can believe it, an even more nightmarish character than Madame Yenvrath.
It's absolutely, yes.
Yeah, I'm playing Madame Diolthus. I cannot explain her. You just have to tune in to see her because there's too much going on. And then Thursdays I run New Amsterdam. Everything's fine there. This coming episode, there's gonna be a wedding. Nothing bad happens at weddings in tabletop RPGs ever, especially in cyberpunk setting. No, it's going to be a fun slice of life episode in which friends are made and many happy endings are had, of course.
Nothing good ever happens in a wedding in any fantasy or sci-fi setting.
If you really want to make a player paranoid, you just let it be a happy day.
No, see, here's the thing. Amy is like, at this point, so anxious about the wedding, she is messaging me about it at least once every couple days about being like, oh God, please don't kill my wife at the wedding. And I'm just like, I'm not going to kill your wife at the wedding. Like, and she's just like, why are you lying to me? Yeah, right? She's like, why are you lying to me? No, sorry, my outro's taken. Yeah, right?
She is so easy to round up, isn't she?
Absolutely. But no, my outro's taken forever. I'm sorry. Both Fridays, Immortal War, I play Hiroki the Himbo Samurai. Yakshas, I play Frank, the ex-purifier, who, yes, was a genocider, but now is trying to be a good father and firefighter. No, yeah, no. No, that's right. It's a hard one.
Get off the stage!
Thanks, Rowan. And then Saturdays, I'm in After the Bomb as Adam McCarthy. And one final announcement. Not tomorrow, but the spooky Monday that's happening the week afterwards. Whoa! We're going to be playing a Halloween game. A Halloween game that involves psychedelic horror and survival horror elements and absolute nightmares. I'm very excited. Halloween shit's my shit. I'm a horror aesthetic girl through and through. So that is going to be very exciting. Come and check me out at my most powerful. And that is my outro.
All right. Soul Demon back, or I think we might have lost him for the night.
Oh, damn.
I think we lost him for the night. Anyway, so I guess that brings it to me. I'm Brian C. I'm the game master for tonight. Yes, we saw some intrigue and some real politicking going on. There's still more to come. Plus, there's going to be a spire that they get to look at. Possibly a new home. I'll have to wait and see. You can find me on Saturdays, every other Saturday, which will be next Saturday, running after the bomb. A lovely story set in Twilight 2000, 4th edition. They're in Sweden. It is now winter. It is the heart of winter. And it's only the beginning of November, folks. Yes, that's what happens when you have nuclear winters. You can find me on Thursdays playing in New Amsterdam, where I play Conor McGregor, a lovely soul that he's just in it for the money. He doesn't care about helping running a place or that. He just wants a nice contract to be paid. And he got his favorite toy back, so he's happy. Yes, break it in now. I should be able to make it to choose this game next time. Sort of got sidetracked the last session. But we're eventually going to show up, I think.
Gonna shake up the whole thing. It's gonna be awesome.
Oh, yes, a lovely little halfling is going to shake everything up.
That's a smile.
I think Mira's going to meet her match.
Oh, I don't know if D can.
We're going to have fun.
Uh-huh. All right. I'm hyped for it.
Okay, it's a date. Just one or two of the things I think coming down the pipe, but we're not sure yet. But we'll find out when they happen. I'll let you know when I know. And that's basically it. And what can we RIP today? Nothing really special. Well, we can say RIP to poor Marshall.
Mm-hmm.
He does not have a player anymore.
No.
He's relegated to NPC.
Unfortunate, but
he's here in body, but not in spirit.
Exactly. Sometimes real life get in the way of game life.
That is true.
Let's do it then. R.I.P. Marshall.